stormy. Quite stormy outside here, everyone. Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark.
And Jocelyn.
With Walter's World. And we're here for our whiskey and wine Wednesday. So good to see everybody. Yeah, there's quite a bit of storms outside. We actually had to go in our basement earlier and watch what was it? Onward from Pixar. So we're both got little tears in our eyes because you know how Pixar is. It's not a true Pixar movement until you will cry your eyeballs out. So just want to say, everybody, hope you're doing okay. Hope everybody's getting by. We know it's been a crazy time, and we're glad we can be here for you all. And yes, I'm glad we can be here for the Hump Day Hangout. So cheers, everybody.
Cheers. I am sitting here on my phone looking at the National Weather Service and reading what they've got in store for us. And so far it looks like just large damaging hail.
Yeah, so
Yay.
So if you hear what it sounds like, the windows rattling, but don't worry, that's just the hail and a really bad storm outside. We actually went downstairs, like I said earlier, because it was getting pretty bad. Good thing I cleaned out the garage so we could get a second car in there, because now we got both things in there. So it's pretty crazy, but good to see everybody popping on. Michael, good to see you. Eric, AZB, Chelsea, Pedro, Mom. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Kath.
Oh, Bia's on here in New Zealand. Hope you're doing well. Juan in Puerto Rico. Thanks, buddy. Glad to hear
Michael.
it. Oh, Debbie in Edmonton. Christian Valdez, thank you for becoming a helpful traveler. That is awesome of you.
Welcome
we really
to the
appreciate
club.
it. That is awesome.
Hi,
Thank you
Mark.
so much. Hey, Mark, good to see you. I hope April's not too in shock that you got tequila and everything, but having some margaritas, what I like to hear. So our lights aren't off. Usually there's more light outside, but it is really, really, really dark and stormy outside.
It was 80 degrees here today. It got to 79, and we are supposed to have at least a 40-degree drop today. And I think it's already gone down by probably 20, and literally within 2 hours. And it is black as night outside, and it should not be. And the dog is in the basement crying.
Yeah, which means he's worried.
Yeah, which makes me even more nervous.
Well, that's an earthquake thing. I mean, who knows?
Hey, Ronnie. Hey, Laura.
Rachel, good to see you.
Hello,
Jason.
Utah.
Oh, Jason Edinburgh. Up late, I see. Must be studying hard.
Yes, there you go.
Studying hard, I bet.
Hello from in Australia, Ezekiel. It's your first time. Welcome to the club.
Hey, Fortune Coffee for U.S. Virgin Islands. Good to see you. Yeah, Donna. Yeah, 72 degrees today, and tomorrow we're up to 46. Ohio weather, yeah, just like Illinois.
Yep.
So
good times.
Good times. And we're glad we can be here, everybody. It's been some crazy times. But we have some really fun stuff we're working on. Actually, next Tuesday.
April Finley's on.
Oh, April Finley? Hey, April. How are you? Hey, man, I'm here too. Yeah, April's like, April, best baker of all the Finleys, I do believe, from what I've seen. Hey, everybody in Mississippi, good to see you. Oh, Yanni Nian in China. Ni hao. Hope you're doing well.
Wow, very cool.
Down in Pensacola. Nice.
Hi, Claire. It's the first time you've been here? Excited to be here from New Orleans. Awesome.
Steve,
we like NOLA. It's one of Mark's favorite places. Hello, Atlanta.
Steve, I too wish I could travel somewhere as well. Getting a little itchy, but we're doing the right things.
That they just got a full refund on their trip in July, and they're both happy and sad. Well,
yeah. No, we know that
save
one.
the refund and use it for later, right?
Yes, so all kinds of good
Darian's
stuff.
on. Hey,
buddy.
dear. Nice to see you.
Don't worry, that's whiskey cough.
Drinking through the storm, yes, well.
That's right. It's one of those, what's weird is because it was really bad earlier, then it got really quiet. And you know when it gets really quiet, you're always really kind of worried. So I'm like, yeah, we're going to go downstairs. There's that.
I grabbed our passports. that's
so
what we take
if the house goes,
we've got
Blue Blanky and Lammy for Liam. Caleb's down with this game, so he's fine.
He's got his phone.
So one is a 13-year-old. And we've got the backup stuff with all our videos, so we can keep making those. It's okay, Jimmy. You can get to bed whenever you need to, buddy. Alistair up in Alaska. Good to see you.
Kalinita in Greece. Thank you for that.
Rusty Shackelford. I watched Twister earlier. I'm regretting that decision.
Dude,
I'll tell you that's one movie. That's funny. That's because that's one movie I would always get weirdly homesick when I'd watch that because I could get that online a lot of times back in the day. And is he locked in the back?
No, he's sitting at the base of the stairs.
Oh, yeah, our dog's a little freaking out. So, yeah, but it was weird because every time I'd see that Twister, I'd be like, oh, I remember reading about that in like the summer 1995 Time magazine for the movies that come out this summer. And it was pretty funny. Hey, Ben Bailey and Savannah, hope you're doing well. It's whiskey today, Brian. Just little gentleman Jack.
Okay, buddy.
Heidi, man, we've got a lot of Michiganders here today. Pure Michigan all the way. I was actually talking about that in my marketing lecture this week. So we've been having crazy, like, it is straight up pitch black outside. I mean, no, it's not. I know it's nighttime, but it's like, wow. Jocelyn went outside. It is so still. What's it look like?
Well, as dark as it is, there's a big fat black front moving in from the northwest.
Wow.
And the dog is sitting at the base of the stairs in the basement yipping. He's like, and he's a 100-pound dog. He doesn't like whine and yip. I'm nervous. I should just keep drinking. Anywho.
Yeah. Oh, now he's barking. Wow, he's not happy.
No, he doesn't like that.
So there's one. Banacos are globe hopping movies such as Indiana Jones and games such as Tomb Raider and Uncharted good ways to see the world these days? Yes, it is. I think that is a good way to go right now because right now we're not going anywhere. We're not going for a little while longer, but hopefully things are starting to turn. And I was very happy to hear that now the estimates, the number of people that are going to be getting sick and might lose their lives has come down way down. So that is fantastic. So I'm really happy to hear that.
What we're doing is working, right?
Yeah. So what you're doing, what everybody's doing, it's working. So keep it up. Awesome work. So someone made a comment. Interesting that El Salvador was your last international trip before this was. Yep, that was our last one. It was a good time too. Really nice beaches there. Really nice beaches. Yeah. The pupusas, the food, so
good. Was good. We had a good time. We got to actually really see a whole lot of El Salvador in a short amount of time. We hired a guide, and she took us everywhere. She even took us to Mr. Donut.
Yeah, and for the best horchata in El Salvador.
Her grandmother, before she died, that's all she wanted was horchata.
So yeah, because she had cancer, and so she's like, just give me that.
Yeah.
So it was really nice.
Babs asked what I was drinking. I have a glass of Sauvignon Blanc. Yep, that's it. That's what I'm drinking. So. Yeah,
so all kinds of interesting stuff today. So, Brick,
I don't know. I can't. He won't come up the stairs.
I'll go down and see him.
Reggie and her man. How are you?
Oh, hey, Reggie and her man. Yeah.
It's dark and stormy. We should all be drinking dark and stormies. That's right.
That's right. The dark rum and ginger beer.
And we're just gonna ignore the dog. I don't know what else.
It's hard to ignore him though.
Yeah.
So Hunter Hans. Sorry. Yeah. Hey, Hunter was on earlier this my marketing feed on my other channel. What do you think about hitting Atlanta, Birmingham, Montgomery, New Orleans, and Houston in 2 weeks and a half? Yeah, you can definitely do that.
Houston might be a little bit of a stretch.
But for 2.5 weeks, you can do it. I would say, if you want to hit some beaches down on the way, you could hit all the way down to by Gulf Shores, then head over to New Orleans. If you want to get a little bit of tan before you go. So,
Gulf Shores is great too.
So you can do that. Hold on. Oh, no wonder we're stuck.
No, we did not get a lighting ring. I as I said that, I just looked straight into the light.
I ordered one, and that's supposed to be here on Monday. And then I got the 3-piece light set thing, and that was supposed to come Monday too, but now it's supposed to come in May.
I have not heard of Traveler WT2 Plus Traveler translator earbuds. Have you heard of those?
No, but I've seen a lot of different translating things.
Mark prefers just to learn the language because he's Mark.
So it is that. Let's see.
I'm jealous. That's why I say it that way.
Oh, still 73 degrees in New Mexico. I bet it is, Steve. Dry weather, nice place. We were in Santa Fe October last year. September last year. It's quite nice. It's really hard when the dog is barking. You worry about him.
Yeah.
So, Escacar, yes, I do speak some Spanish. Algunas palabras y yo puedo enseñar en español, pero no hay muchas posibilidades porque no hay bastantes personas que se hablan español y mi universitario hay, pero no hay muchos estudiantes que quieran clases en español, pero tal vez un día podría hacerlo. Vamos a ver. Anyway, let's see. I ordered one too. I don't know what my mom ordered. Um, oh, it was listening on the YouTube podcast thingy. Yeah. So, this is our live. I love reading some of your comments because really, like, you watch a Pixar movie, it just takes you out of like everything. So I'm like, oh, we should get drinks and stuff. And then the kids are like, onwards on Disney Plus. So we've been downstairs watching that. So try to bring back the energy and hear things like that.
Have the kids taken advantage of online exhibits like the Louvre and the Sistine Chapel? Nope. They've been to those places. I mean, I guess we could do it. I think I've signed them up for a couple of different educational things.
Well, you signed them up for the thing, the Pink Moon thing.
At Mystic Seaport. Mystic they have a really great educators department. My friend actually is on the team there, and so she always sends me the invites and things like that. They have a really good active Facebook page and stuff, so that's a good one. And they have, educators doing it. It's not just static, so it's really very good.
Yeah.
I miss trip planning. You don't have to not trip plan. You can Derek, can plan your trip. But just because you can't do it right away doesn't mean that you can't plan it. Mark likes to plan things years in advance, which makes my head spin often.
Yeah, I kind of have my little rough idea, 2 years out, something like that, because some of the bigger trips we do have to plan out a little bit farther, the future Australia trip and Southeast Asia and stuff like that. We're like, okay, we got to Bhutan eventually. You got to plan those out a bit farther to make sure with the time and the money and stuff like that. So I like to kind of plan out and think what we need to do, where we want to go. And then, then also you want to leave a little bit of kind of leeway in case some other things do come up. So we could go on a side trip, or how we were planning to have our Easter weekend, having you all pick us going places. That's what we would have been doing this weekend. If this craziness didn't happen, we would have been going on a fan-chosen adventure. But alas, we are here having our own adventure with you all. And my computer is acting very weird today, so I'm sorry if there's any lags or anything. So just hope you're doing best. Hey, Sam in Florida.
Lori has a really good idea. She says that she's doing her trip planning on Post-it notes and moving them around her calendar as things go. I think that's kind of brilliant.
That's forward thinking. That's forward thinking.
Yes, right. Very funny. And Terry's on. Hello. We got the whole Finley family here.
I know.
Well, almost.
Yeah. Well, Patty Picasso makes a good point. Irish government are telling people not to travel to holiday homes for the long weekend. The Austria Islands have banned tourists too, and for health and safety reasons. Yes, you should stay at your normal home where you are now instead of traveling around anywhere where you are. So there is that. Donna, fingers crossed, our cruise January 2021. We'll be going out of Sydney. I having seen how well we've done, everybody's done around the world to get this thing under control as much as we can, I'm hopeful that Jan will be okay. So you got there. So hopefully we'll see you in Sydney in January. Who knows? Kim M, thank you very much for the super chat, our Canadian friend. That's really nice of you. Hey, Faisal, hope you're doing well, buddy. Hello. So someone's right. Rebecca saying she was doing virtual field trips during my live classes and sharing old photos and videos from my trips with my kids.
That's great.
It's been hilarious. Students are planning trips as a project for my class. That is awesome, Rebecca. So that is great.
One of our followers actually suggested that we have our kids do that because it there's history, there's geography, there's budgeting. There's a lot of really good practical stuff that comes from trip planning. I think that's really good. Mm-hmm. Tony from Syracuse, thank you for the super chat.
Thanks, man. That's awesome of you.
Nice to see you.
Well, we just got a big jump again.
A big jump.
3 out of the 4 Finleys are here.
We got 3 out of 4.
How's the quarantine? Well, I think it was quite fortuitous that I lost 50 pounds before we went on quarantine. I haven't put it all back on. I put a little bit back on, but I'm keeping it good. I'm keeping it down. Been better this last week. I actually went riding my bike with Caleb, and of course hurt my back. So now at doing anything, I can't bend over right now. This is intense pain right now when I'm sitting here. But it should be okay in a couple of days. So
the Jack Daniels might help.
Yes, the Jack Daniels hopefully will help.
Jennifer, I'm sorry you are not in Barcelona, but I'm glad you're here with us and you can hang out with like-minded travelers.
Yes, I'm glad you're safe and sound at home. Hey,
Donna
has... sorry.
Donna has a good question. Do you prefer longer trips of over 2 weeks or short trips of less than 7 days? Here's the thing. We prefer the trips, but he likes stupid long, like months.
Years, maybe.
If we were gone, like if that was our all the time thing and we just were always on the road, I think I could handle it better. It's hard for me when we do 7, 8, 9 weeks and then come home and then we're home for a couple weeks, then we go somewhere for another week. And I'm like, it's a lot of that little bitty time in between is a lot of washing laundry and repacking for a different place because you got different stuff. And often when we do those really long trips, we're going to different types of places. Like this past summer, we were in Europe for like a total of 6 weeks, I think.
There were 6 weeks in Europe and then 2 weeks in Africa.
Almost 3 weeks in Africa. So we needed very different clothing because we were on safari part of the time in Africa and you have to wear tan and green and
April. My favorite patisserie is right up from Rue Le Pec on the right if you come up the hill. So yes, I could read your French, by the way. Sorry.
It's called something that starts with a G. I can't think of the name right now.
I just looked it up the other day to tell somebody.
It's really good though. Anyway, it's on Abbess. And it has a maroon, like if you come up Rue Le Pec, you take a right on Abbess, and it's about 2 blocks or so down. And if you're walking down that street, it'll be on the left-hand side of the street. Anywho, yeah, there you go. So, someone else was talking about wanting to move to a Spanish-speaking country to learn Spanish. Let me tell you, that is really, truly like the best way to do it. It just, you get a lot in there. So have you
Eric Brown, thanks buddy.
Oh, big jump.
Super chat. It's jumped around yet. I don't even know where you went.
He had a question too, Dagnabbit. There it is.
Okay, have you been to Singapore or Thailand? Those seem to be the easiest places in Asia for us Americans to travel to, and both seem beautiful. They are pretty easy to go to, but there's tons of places in Asia that are really easy to get to. If you're flying from like Seattle around there, getting to Korea and Japan is actually a pretty easy flight, especially when you're coming back, so you get a really good jet stream. It's really kind of a quick thing. But Singapore, I've actually had quite a few fans lately that have really been pushing for us to go there. And when we were looking at our Southeast Asia trip, we were looking to put in Singapore as kind of a little trip too.
As a part of it. Good boy.
See, I have a small glass.
I love my husband.
But a big bottle.
That's all we got.
Oh.
So be sweet with it, because I haven't had any. Anyway, Heidi says, I definitely won't be in Vegas for our December vacation. Still trying to talk the hubby into going to Greece, but he wants to go back to Florida. My friends made him too much good barbecue. Listen, sugar, you can get good barbecue in a lot of places, but you can't get Greece in a lot of places. Yeah. So my vote is Greece.
Yeah.
And I'm not biased.
Not at all. Not at all. I have not been to Portsmouth, New Hampshire. We've just been to Concord. We were there for Concord Days, I think that's what it was called. When they did a festival there. That was really nice. But I want to say something about Heidi's boyfriend. See, this is one... Husband, sorry. Oh, hubby, I gotcha. So one thing I see sometimes is we get stuck going back to the same places again and again, because we go to the same places again and again because we really like them. And so we shouldn't think bad of your hubby because he wants to go back. It's okay, but you should say, honey, we should try something new before go back again. So it's like, you give me Greece, I give you Florida. So you kind of like play off the back and forth, because sometimes that's what you need to do. Because I think one of the things I see, especially with multi-generational travel, is it's like one person kind of dictates where everybody goes, and it's kind of like their trip and other people going along. And when you're trying to develop a trip with multiple people, you want to make sure there's something for everybody. So sometimes it means this trip is some person's and the other trip's another person's, but we always try to get stuff that works for everybody.
Yeah. And we do go to Florida often. My sister lives there. We haven't been in like a year and a half. But
Yeah, Babs like I can't wait to actually travel instead of just watching about it or talking
Talking
about it. So she's been rewatching Dexter and have cabin fever. Okay, I am definitely not visiting you when this is over because I'm worried here. Hey, means to travel up in Chicago. Hope you're doing well.
Hey, I hope you're not getting the weather that just came through here a couple hours ago. Because dang, it was scary for a minute.
Well, there's some funny ones on here, but I can't read them out loud because we'll get in trouble. Let's see. Okay, so Kim's asking for a place to visit in Spain. The two big places people like to go are Barcelona and Madrid, obviously. I usually recommend going to Madrid over Barcelona if you only have like a week, because Madrid you can go and do like day trips to Segovia and Toledo and stuff like that. And you get down to Sevilla in 2.5 hours. So there's a lot more like relatively close things to do, whereas Barcelona's kind of tucked over on the side for that.
She said she also likes village country experience. I was thinking like on the way up to Zaragoza, there's some country stuff.
Yeah. I think if you wanted that, I might, because I'm saying when you fly in, you're probably going to fly into Madrid. You can go down to Sevilla. You can do a day trip to Cordoba. Head over to Ronda. You can go, and then you can go up into and up in there stuff like so. There's nice. Let's see.
Rusty's wife wants to know what I'm drinking. She's trying to get on the level. Just a Sauv Blanc. Nothing fancy. It's
nothing fancy.
$10 Sauv Blanc.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I learned living in Portugal is that good wine doesn't have to be expensive. If you find something you like, drink it. Because we my favorite wine when we were there was like €1.82. That would equivalent
€67.
Whatever. It was less than €2 a bottle. We would buy ridiculous amounts. And actually, Caleb used to go over and buy it for us.
Yeah.
Because the street had been closed off for construction. And we lived literally across the street. I could watch him go over there. And there was, they knew him. And he would want to go over and be a big boy and get his chocolate. So I would be like, can you get Mama some wine too? And they would do it. And they would watch him come over. And we would be on the balcony waving and stuff. But it was really sweet because they understood that he was trying to be a big kid, and they were all about letting him feel like a big man.
That's awesome. Right. So Luke was in the Ukraine. I'd asked people if they go there to give me a heads up, and says I can confirm it's amazing for culture, incredibly cheap. Would recommend a tour of Chernobyl too. I don't know if I'll do the Chernobyl part, but yeah, it's. I'm glad to hear that, Luke. Thank you very much. In Defiance. There are really cheap flights to Japan right now. Do you think it would be wise to book a trip now for New Year's? I think I would hope like things would be kind of under control by then. I mean, and now how airlines are doing it, like Delta's push it back. If you buy, you can push it back till 2022. So if it's like that good of a deal, I always tell people it's like, look, if it's such a good deal, you don't mind if you lose the money because it's not that much. Why not? So I mean, because we still have stuff planned through the rest of the year. So like we're not stopping. We just haven't booked anything or looked for anything because we've already got everything booked up anyway. And we know that we have a couple more trips that are probably going to be canceled. And therefore we're going to have to move those back. So that's where things are kind of all over the place.
Berdabo asks where we're planning on traveling next. Well, we don't know. We are pushing
depends when we can get out.
When we're allowed to get out safe to go again. And what happens. And we've pushed some things back. And so it's kind of up in the air at the moment. Liz, we do not have a video of Caleb buying the wine. That was
back when you'd have like the 1 megapixel camera, maybe. Yeah,
no, come on, we had 10 megapixels.
No, not then. No, you didn't.
Yes, we did.
No, we didn't.
We had 10 megapixels when I was in college.
No, you didn't.
Yes, we did.
No, you didn't.
You're just older than me.
By 6 months.
Like 8.
True.
It's a lot.
Have respect for your elders, young woman.
Huh.
Honestly. Anyway, so Smiley says Susanna in Lisboa. True about the wine. That is true. Jimmy UK wants to know if you got the Yorkshire pudding ingredients.
I did. I got the Yorkshire pudding ingredients. And Jimmy, did your mother give you how to make it? I'm just curious.
No, Jimmy is an excellent chef all on his own.
I'm just teasing him. It was a well written recipe, unlike anything I would ever write, because mine is a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Dissing Jimmy. Why?
No, I'm not.
He could have done it all himself. Jimmy, I believe in you, buddy.
Jimmy, I am not being insulting. He's just being an ass.
Anyway, going back to some questions from y'all. Who was the nicest passenger you have sat next to on a plane? One time when I was a young boy, a sweet old lady sat next to me, and we played video games the whole ride.
Awesome.
That's cool.
That's very sweet.
I think for me, one of the most interesting people I ever sat next to, this is probably 1998, maybe like it's been a while. But I got upgraded. The first time I ever got upgraded was on a KLM flight. I have no idea how I got upgraded because that was nothing special, okay? And I was just like, I had a ticket, and I got upgraded. The guy I sat next to was like digging up a city in like Iraq. And
there's a lot of great.
And what was crazy is like the next month I open up National Geographic and there's the guy in National Geographic, and he was totally cool. We chatted up, and because he was funny because I was in college, so I was like early 20s, maybe 20.
That's so cool.
And 21, and the guy's
you
like,
never told me that story.
You didn't ask.
But I love archaeology.
What? You're like, okay. Anyway. And so the guy, so I sit down, and they had like decorated. It was Christmas time, so they had decorated all the bins and stuff like this with Christmas decor and stuff. And I remember going, and I had my ticket, and I was looking for my seat, and you know how they put the curtain, going into business class. Excuse me. I'm like going, and I'm like, let's say row 15 or something like that. I'm looking 17, 16. I'm like, where's 15? Because there's the thing there. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm like standing there, like, dude, I'm like, it's 15. You know where that is? Like, yeah, it's on the other side of the curtain. The curtain. And I'm like,
you're in.
And no, yeah, but I didn't know. I mean, I was like 20. I'm like, I walk in, and I'm like standing like a total idiot. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And they come like, how may I help you? Like, they're like, get out, a business class kid. You're not supposed to be here. And I give my ticket, like, oh, you're right here, sir. Let me take your bag. And she like takes my bag off and my coat and puts it up nicely. She's like, would you like something out of your bag? I'm like, no, I'm okay. And I sit down. The guy's like, I'm like, it wasn't Jack and Ginger, but he like orders a drink and a champagne. And he's like, oh, you should get that too, by the way. And I'm like, I'll have what he's having. So it was all right there. It was pretty funny.
That's great.
So that was the best one, aside from sitting next to Jocelyn. But I never get to sit with her anymore because we always have the boys.
The kids.
So
and they usually sleep between us, except that we've learned that Caleb needs to sit next to Mark because I like to lie down, and Liam's totally cool with me putting my head on his lap or on his shoulder, and Caleb gets really mad when he falls asleep and I've got my head on him. He does not like that. Oh my gosh, what did that just say?
Mr. Blah, have you had the weird Italian maggot dish? No, I haven't had that, but we have had horse.
Weird Italian
I don't know that one.
dish.
We've
had nervetti. It's like pickled
gelatinous nerves, in the fat. It's quite an interesting kind of thing. Some people like it. I'm not one of them.
The texture of it, the flavor isn't bad because it's pickled. I mean, pickled things taste pickled, but the texture.
It's not. It's jelly nerves. That would be the best way to put it. Yeah, we got videos on that. So,
yeah.
Let's see. Natasha T, do you think study abroad in the fall will be possible? I heard there's supposed to be a relapse of corona in the fall. So what you'll probably end up having is kind of like waves, because you'll have like the big peak, what we're going through now, and then it'll go down, and then people go back out again. And you have another thing, and the idea is that you want to have it like eventually the waves get smaller and smaller, so there's not much there. Honestly, I don't know what's going to happen for study abroad in the fall. It could depend where you're going to go. That's a big thing out there. And the thing is, your university, they might just say, no, we're not going to do it. I know my university has canceled everything through like the beginning of July, and all study abroad trips are canceled through August 15th. So they still have a possibility that people could go next semester, but no one really knows, since that's what's up. Oh wow, Christian Valdez. Once I sat next to Roald Dahl's daughter on a flight, and then an FBI agent on the flight home. It was awesome.
Are you sure they were an FBI agent?
Could they tell you?
The Gallivanting Gals got they got a bunch of hail over west of or east of us. So sorry about that.
Oh, if you go to the Gallivanting Gals website, they had a video. They got a few other vloggers like Marcel or me, Means to Travel, Kinging It, Traveling Clad, all had some positive what's going on there. So go check out their video. I don't know if it's their last one up there, but it's one of the recent ones. So just look in their uploads right there. Jonathan, sorry.
Joshua Morales says, "How did you two meet and start dating? We met in high school. I did not like him because he kept teasing me. He had just come home from Australia and he kept faking an Australian accent. And
Yet it was good, but it was good enough that you always thought of me whenever you heard an Australian accent.
But the thing is, I was the new girl, and that was rude.
I had just come back from Australia. I must have had jet lag. I don't know.
It made enough of an impression that, like, many moons down the road, like after college and everything else, he wrote to me on Facebook. Didn't even ask to be my friend, nothing like that. Just wrote me.
It was different times.
Yeah, whatever.
Like, I wanted to write you, and then like, no, if you'd want to be my friend.
Well, I'm your friend now, baby.
Oh,
forever. So he sent me a Facebook message, and when we got married, my sister was my maid of honor, and she just sobbed when she gave her speech, and she says blah 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 to Facebook, and that was the end of her speech. So that's how it happened. Okay. Let's see. Bia sat next to a little girl on a flight to Australia from Canada. That's a long dang flight, and she was terrified and asked if I would hold her hand. That's really sweet. I love meeting new people on planes. There was a guy that I sat next to, maybe on my way to Florida or something, and he had the aisle and I had the window, and he said, "Who do you think's in the middle?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Business, and he's like, "No, it's a game. My brother and I used to play this when we were kids." So we both took bets on what the person would be, like if it would be a woman, a man, tall, short, like all this stupid stuff. And it was a really fun little game. I should do that with the kids sometimes. Anywho, although we usually take up an entire row, the four of us. So
yeah, because we'll actually go for that middle four just so we're all together. Oh, we got a big jump again. Sorry, because we hadn't moved for a long time, and now we got a big, huge jump. Waleed says, Mark, you should try to vlog while you're traveling. So we've done a few of those, and
people don't watch them. Apparently,
like,
we're not very good vloggers.
No,
not like the daily whatever
kind
of thing.
Because there's people that do a really nice job where they like show like what they're doing every day and stuff like that. But it's just, I'd rather experience this stuff than tell you guys about it so you can have a better job doing it than me. Like, hey guys, we're walking through here and showing up on influencers in the wild or something like that. So, but yeah, we have a few of them. I'm sure we'll try to do a better job. We'll try to put some out. Okay. But right now there's not much to vlog about because we're just here.
Bananco said, last time I was in Disneyland in 1994, Ken Burns and his family passed by. I didn't bother him out of respect, but should I instead have stopped him and asked for his autograph? So I don't know. I don't know what Ken Burns is like, except that he's brilliant.
Yes.
And if I saw him, I would probably just quietly snap a picture and go, I would probably squeal a little bit. I wouldn't get excited over movie stars, but I'd get excited over Ken Burns.
Yeah, it's like my mom gets.
But I'd be the same way. I wouldn't ask.
Well, we'll get people that'll write us and say, hey, I mean, we were in Atlanta last time. People are like, I just saw you in Terminal T at Bojangles. I didn't want to come say hi. I'm like, come say hi. We love seeing people.
We're those kind of people. I don't know if other,
not everyone's like that.
Ken Burns is like that or not.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Never know. It could be like my mom who stalked Sean Connery throughout Edinburgh. Love you, Mom. I'm sure she'd still leave my dad like that for Sean Connery. It's Sean Connery.
I'd stalk Sean Connery around Edinburgh too. Hello, Shelley in Savannah.
Let's see. To Facebook. There you go. Means to travel. Whoa! We lost everybody's stuff. Okay, it's back.
All right.
Oh, okay. Well. So, John Didier, thank you very much for the super chat. Ever visit Saarland, Kaiserslautern? What is the countryside like there? So Saarland is, you can tell that it is its own tiny little Bundesland. So those who don't know, Saarland is the smallest state in Germany. That's not like a city state like Hamburg or Berlin or Bremen. It's fine. I mean, there's other places to go that are better. It's going to be more woodsy kind of stuff. There's a few small towns you can enjoy when you're there. But it is really woodsy. If you want to do some hiking and stuff like that, you can do around there. Easy if you want to get over to like Luxembourg and France and stuff like that. It's kind of an easy shot from there too. I have not been to Kaiserslautern, so I can't really say there. I just know most I know about that is the soccer team. So sorry. Oh, Gallivant Gals, thank you very much for the super chat, and you've disappeared again. Oh, there you are. All right. Thanks for spreading the positivity and for being part of our video. I'm going to see if I can find a charged battery bank and log back on. I know how that goes. So like, I was charging this up because it was dead earlier today because it just died. We were working. It died. I'm like, oh, please work. And then we had the storm. And I'm like, okay, I don't have it plugged in case the lightning strike and it fries it. So yes, I know the dreaded. Oh man, we're at 5%, and I'm trying to do something. Well, you had that. What were you trying to do? Oh, it was with the Meyer. You're trying to order the food, and it's like their system's going to go down.
Yeah, their system was. I was trying to order groceries last week, and they were like their system was supposed to have a reboot at like midnight, and I'm like sitting there furiously trying to get things in my shopping cart, and it just wasn't happening. And I don't know. So I did end up forgetting a few things, but whatever. Okay. So Heidi mentioned she wonders what happened to all those mean guys back in high school. I married one. I'm joking. Mark was not mean.
I was never mean to anybody.
No, Mark. Everybody loved Mark except for me. I was the only person that didn't love Mark, and now I love him more than any of those people. So there you go.
Time for a kiss. That was for you, buddy. Mm-hmm. Even though you're not on here. Let's see.
All right.
Oh, wow. My mom's message got retracted. Dang, Kathy Walters.
She retracted it herself.
Oh, maybe she was. Maybe she was upset about the Sean Connery thing. Mom, no one faults anyone for going after Sean Connery.
If you found a great flight deal for Germany for July, would you do it? Darian, I don't know.
Well, at least now you can push the stuff back.
If that's the thing. Right now, if you were to buy something at a really great price, you would be able to like rebook it later. But chances are...
this is important. We need to say this. For all of you that are thinking about buying those cheap tickets and going, oh, I can just push it back. Yeah, you can push it back. But if you get the ticket for $500 and next year when you rebook it, it's a $1,000 ticket, you do have to pay the price difference. It's not like you got a free trip to Germany or something like that. So do be careful with those.
Yeah. Any tips on Europe to retire?
One thing I would say is make sure you go to a place you can afford to get the private insurance because your U.S. Medicare stuff will not work there. Like Medicaid and stuff like that does not work there. So you have to get the stuff that's there. So make sure there's some decent things you can get. I would also say is when you do retire abroad, what I see a lot is people go to retirement communities, not like retirement homes, but like there's towns in Spain that are literally just retired British people. Or you go to places in Portugal and it's just retired Brits or Americans.
Like you walk in and you're like, holy cow, everybody has
Yeah, I mean, I remember I was in Malaga, and I'm like, I'm the only person here that speaks Spanish. This is really weird. Yeah. You know, the Coastal Sol and stuff like that, and so you want to realize, like, are you going there to live in Europe? Are you going there to live with other Americans or other Canadians or other whatever? I mean, that's one thing you really got to think about when you're going to go retire in Europe. In terms of living there, I mean, we love living there. I mean, I lived for 12 years in Europe, and I really enjoyed it. And I lived in a lot of different countries. I lived in Austria. I lived in Finland. I lived in Lithuania. I lived in Germany. I lived in Portugal.
You might as well say you lived in Italy. You spent so much time there. You didn't have a visa there, though.
Yeah, so no, I did not have that. But I did get mail there. So it's one of those, like, where do you draw the line? But I think what you have to think about when you're thinking about retirement abroad is, one, like, if you have kids and stuff like that, are they going to be able to visit you? And is it retirement until you die? Or is it retirement when we can have those young retirement years, so like in my 60s when I'm doing a lot of stuff, then 70s when we move back. So there's kind of things you want to think about because meeting new people and stuff like that is really tough. I mean, anybody on here knows, like, the easiest way to meet people when you're an adult is through your kids' school, But then once your kids are out of school, like, you don't have that easy end to meet people, and so when you retire, it's really tough. So you want to make sure you get into groups and stuff like that are really about
and on that, like, there are a lot of different expat groups, name of it, that we had coffee or tea, like, went on bed rest, and I never saw her again, which kind of stinks.
So my mom said, oh, we saw Sean Connery in London getting his paper.
Probably because you were standing outside his house.
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe.
I would.
I don't want my dad to feel bad, so let's just leave it there, okay?
Oh, Bill's not watching, is he? Oh, he probably
is. He probably on the TV there. Probably didn't hear me. That was mean. Sorry. Okay, so Nader1 says, I have a friend and fellow traveler from Iran. He has family there and has invited me to see the country. Obviously not now, but would you go? Longer term, yeah, I would go. There's a lot to see in Iran or Iran. And I've actually met quite a few nice people. All my travels from Iran, so I mean,
yeah, there's a lot of great culture and stuff there too. That would be really wonderful. And if you have somebody there that you know, that always makes anywhere easier and better.
Miranda! Hi, Miranda Burgos.
Oh, hi, honey. How are you?
Hey, can you do me a favor, Miranda? Can you tell your dad that the Super Bowl Shuffle is a football song?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Thank you. Because your dad, the historian, didn't feel that the Super Bowl Shuffle was truly a sports, song. So let him know.
There's Super Bowl in it. Anyway,
exactly.
Miranda, I'm so glad you logged on and said hi. And by the way, your mother posted a picture of something that you drew the other day, and it was incredible. You are very talented, and I hope that you consider looking into art in a little while.
So Miranda's an old friend. Like her and Caleb used to beat the crap out of each other in Taekwondo. So we've been tied for years.
Yeah.
So and her dad is a really amazing historian, especially in baseball. The guy is top notch. Like huge. If you go to the what do they call the museum? Where he's on that like the place where you have Cooperstown, the Hall of Fame. Baseball Hall of Fame. He's done a lot of stuff. Yeah, can you tell it's been a long day? It's been a long quarantine, okay? He's done stuff there. Fantastic guy. So, Adrian Burgos, good friend too.
Awesome.
Anyway, sorry.
Hey, Inside Lauren's Brain. I'm sorry you had a hard day. Welcome to this and let it all go.
Yeah, we're here for you. Lori, hey, Lori.
What? I'm sorry, that moved.
Okay, so Lori Sims says, Amex just told me it is mandatory that all airlines give you a full refund and not just the credit. That's true for certain things, and it's not true for other things. So you got to be careful with that. Excuse me, because if any flight that's canceled, they have to give you the money back. Not do that. But the thing is, if I don't know if the flights are canceled or not, then they can say, well, we might fly it. So that's why I always recommend waiting until the very last minute to know, because if they cancel, then you get your money back easier. If you try to cancel yourself. Now, I mean, I'll be honest. Right now, airlines are being really great about this, but there's going to be a day when probably not all airlines are going to be great about it. So we got to think about that.
They're going to be able to afford to be that great about it. That's going to be part of it too.
Yeah. So Heather W puts, a lot of vlogs don't seem to be edited well.
Thank you for the super chat, Heather.
And thank you for the super chat, Heather. Yes, I know our vlogs aren't edited very well. That's true. But no, I understand what you mean, because you have a lot of like the walking around and the bouncy stuff, and even if you have like the gimbal that like makes it be like steady cam stuff, it still sometimes doesn't come out well. And I kind of look at it this way. If I'm trying to be the camera person holding the camera and talking to it and walking and trying to remember the things I want to say and not run into somebody, I'm not doing a very good job. I'm trying to do 5 jobs at once. I would rather put the camera on that tripod, push record, and then I can totally focus on giving the travel information. So that's what I like to do.
Minot says, what's the strangest or most different food you've ever tried? So God only knows the things that we ate in China. I mean, we just ate. We
donkey.
Didn't know. We found out later that we had donkey.
I think my dad had dog in Korea, but he didn't know that at the time.
So I think one of the funny ones was that we had an octopus popsicle in Japan. There was the squid thing.
Wait, no. The squid, no, the octopus pops. Oh yeah, the octopus popsicle. Yeah, there's that. Then there was the squid. Yeah. But the thing is, they had a quail egg inside the head of the octopus, and Caleb didn't know. Actually, you can see it in some of our Kyoto, Japan videos. He bites into it, and he's like, it's like the head flops up. He's like, "Is that its brain?" I'm like, no, it's an egg, dude. He's like, "Oh, okay."
It was like a little squid. But the octopus popsicle, it was like ground octopus or something. I don't know. It was formed into like popsicle shape. It was on a stick.
Yeah, not like when you think of not a popsicle. I think popsicle is a bad example. Think of like the dreamsicle, where it's like shaped like this with a stick at the bottom. It was like that versus like the popsicle, which is more like this.
Yeah, so it was like a flat. I don't know. It was interesting.
So, all right. So yours is everybody's freezing. Oh no. Go see if the boys are on the internet.
Okay.
You could please.
Boys, are you on the internet?
Caleb? No.
Not even your phones? Okay, it might be the wind with the...
It's from the ground.
Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows?
Storm
So andiamo means let's go. So like we're going. Let's go. It's in Italian. We actually get this shirt on the waltersworld.store. So we have some stuff.
I made that. I designed that, and the reason I did it is because I yell it at my kids all the time. I'm like andiamo whenever we're going anywhere, and so much so that the kids' friends all know what andiamo means. That. Like Caleb's soccer buddies, I'll be like getting them all in the car. I'm like, come on, andiamo, and they know. So anyway, know you love Japan. Do you ever watch Only in Japan YouTube channel?
Yeah, I have watched. I have watched some of his stuff. He's got some really good stuff for Japan, because he's lived there for a while. And it's funny because I remember when he was just doing like a side thing to his job, and now it's gotten so big. It's like his full-time thing. So he's still doing a really good job though. Mm-hmm. So I like his stuff.
Noel says it's fine now. The Outer Hebrides in Scotland are beautiful, and
yes,
Orkney is totally fantastic. Yes,
Shetland, where my people are from. Hence why we have some Norwegian in our blood, right, Mommy?
I love the Isle of Skye too.
That's gorgeous.
It's really beautiful driving. Very serene. Loved that. So, if you were traveling just for the food, to which country would you go? Mark, I'm not going to speak.
Go on. HAXE. Haxa.
Oh, really? Germany?
No,
for just the food.
That's one meal. Yeah, no, I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't go to Germany just for the food.
That's one meal.
See, Jocelyn hates German food, and I like it. So that's why I like to joke with about it. But for me, it would be France, Italy, or Greece, or Italy. See, I wouldn't go Greece
or Peru.
Oh, Peru, that's a good one.
And then Rwanda.
Oh God, yeah.
So did I give you enough?
Wait, we should no. We need to do our usual. We go by continents.
Okay, so continents. South America.
Brazil.
Peru.
Okay. Central America. I know it's not a continent, but we like it down there. Because you could put your favorite food from there. Because there's always Pop's ice cream, which is really good. But the pupusas from El Salvador is nice. But then... what's the stuff from Costa Rica that starts with the G? Gallo Pinto?
Gallo Pinto.
The rice and beans?
It's just rice and beans.
Yeah,
that's the best damn rice and beans I've ever eaten.
Going to a soda. I put a video on what to know when you go to Costa Rica.
How about the Caribbean? Jamaica.
Oh, God, yeah.
Without
great.
question.
In the U.S., New Orleans, Savannah,
New Orleans.
Got great food.
Probably New Orleans over Savannah.
Yeah, just more options. In Europe... Yeah, for me, it's probably a toss between France and
Italy and Greece are a toss-up for me. That's hard.
Rwanda, their food was phenomenal. I mean, I like the food in Tunisia. I like the food in Morocco and stuff, but like Rwandan
food, because...
If you're a vegan or you're a vegetarian, like Rwanda is the place to go.
So yummy.
Miranda will tell Caleb hi, don't worry. Caleb, Miranda says hi.
He says hi.
He says hi.
Did you not hear that?
No, I can't hear it anymore.
So... He says hi from upstairs and behind a door, and it sounds like... Anyway.
So he could have said, forget you, Miranda. You kicked me in the head too hard. But, whatever. He wouldn't say that, no.
So I'm thinking Asia, so far Japan. The food was so fresh and tasty. We loved it.
Yeah, but I still love the food in China. And Jocelyn will hate me because I really love the street food in China. And though I got ill multiple times.
Like a lot.
I don't care. It was so good. I didn't care.
Stupid idiot. I'm like,
I don't care. It was so good.
Eat it first.
They had this thing. It was like a pancake, and then the egg was inside of it, and then they put the meat, and they just took it from
the plate. And I'm like, here, eat the Imodium as your appetizer.
That's fine. It was that good. It was that good.
But you didn't eat the Imodium as an appetizer.
No, but I didn't know. You didn't know I was eating that when I was going to work. So Mark R., thank you very much for the super chat. Your message was retracted, but thank you. Leo's got his Andiamo shirt. Thanks, buddy. Hey, if you all have your Andiamo shirts, we can do a quarantine Andiamo shirt video. I haven't we sold, I don't know, like 200 of these shirts, and I've gotten 2 pictures. Well, Carla and her husband sent to me this week, and I think I got one other one. So do send some pictures, even if it is chilling out on the couch eating chips.
Yeah, we're
send it
fine
to us
with that.
so we can have some friends because we're trying to make some fun stuff. So I was going through our videos. So like we had Costa Rica today. I'll probably do some Costa Rica, Nicaragua this weekend. But while I was going through, I found some videos of our old videos of the kids like trying different foods and stuff like that. And I think I might make like a compilation video with like the best of the kids like going, Liam like, I'm not eating that snail, and Caleb going, bone, bone, bony bone when he's eating the fit frog legs and stuff. So we got some good ones I want to put together because I want some more fun.
Don't move that. What's your favorite cheese? Probably feta or something really stinky. Okay.
Queijo mineiro com doce de abóbora.
Oh, yeah, right?
It's a cheese from the Minas region of Brazil, and you
So
have it
good.
with sweetness of pumpkin.
It's
oh my
pumpkin
god.
jam.
Pumpkin jam.
Basically.
It is
so stinking
fantastic.
good. Is Nutella a Schedule 1 narcotic anywhere? It is so good. My kids were so mad I made crepes the other day for breakfast. And Caleb's like, what is this? And he opens it up. He's like, what is this? And I was like,
chocolate banana.
Chocolate bananas. And I made whipped cream because my cream was at the very end and it was about to go off. And I made fresh whipped cream, crepes, cut up a banana, put some chocolate drizzle in it, and he's complaining because it's not Nutella. I mean, tell me that's not
Can you tell
spoiled.
our kids are spoiled rotten?
Lord almighty.
I blame the grandparents.
No, it's because we feed them really good food.
Yeah, that's true. They I don't think they'll realize till later. They're like, hey, Mary Ellen, I'm glad that we can be here after a 14-and-a-half-hour workday.
Cheers to you, sister.
Mary Ellen.
So, somebody had a
Somebody.
funny question. Hang on. It was right around there. Oh, yeah, Legend Meadow. What do you think about the euro? Love it? Hate it? I have no thought about money. Like, money is the way that you... Well, no, I mean, like, currencies.
Yeah, I was going to say, you need to put it a different way. Because you're making like, money means nothing. I'm like,
no, I mean, like, currencies.
Only at Target apparently means nothing. But we got a new Target cart now. Yay!
I have no thought about currency.
So I'm saving money while not traveling.
It's the way I have... It is the manner in which you pay for things. That is what I think of currencies.
So, for me, I think as a traveler, the euro is a fantastic thing because for those of us that are mature enough to remember the escudos in Portugal and the mark in Germany and the drachmas and stuff like that, switching between countries, the amount of money you lost doing that, the euro really made life a lot easier. However, I will say as an economist and someone that's lived in countries like Germany where like it worked really well for them, but in a country like Portugal where it made high prices and held down incomes, it wasn't good. Like if you're from a poor country and you're not allowed to have more than 2% inflation, you're not allowed to have it.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
And so you get in trouble for that, so you can never become wealthier. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff about that, and it's really kind of sad. So
Heather's always wanted to see, it's on her list, to see a Midwest summer storm. Well, come up for a week, you'll probably find one.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, so those who don't know, like the storms, like, because, for example, when we have huge storms here, and like the lightning will go from one side of the horizon to the other, and it'll just be this huge thing, and so we're kind of used to it. And even when I remember in grade school, we'd have these huge storms, and we'd be like, oh, that's nice, and then we'd go back to work.
Keep doing your thing.
And I remember when I went to Germany and I lived there, and we had thunder. Everyone's like, oh my God, it's thunder! Oh my God, I'm gonna die! I'm like,
Vika did that.
What?
Vika did that in Portugal, so it never thunders and lightnings in Portugal. And my friend Vika, she is Lithuanian, living in Lisbon, and we were walking down the road, and it was starting to rain. She's like, we gotta hurry, it's raining. And I was like, okay, we'll hurry. You don't want to get our hair messed up. And then all of a sudden, kaboom, and I thought she was gonna hit the deck. I mean, she was like, what was that? I'm like, what Chicken Little? The sky is not falling. To us.
But they're not used to it.
But she's like, I bet I've only heard thunder like once in my life. And to me, that's such a foreign idea.
And I remember when I worked in Lithuania and we did have thunder, my students, I could physically, they were college students and they were physically scared.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just thunder. And there's like another thunderbolt. I'm like, or thunderbolt or thunderclap. And they're like, oh, I'm like, it's okay. I mean, it's funny because it's kind of
when
like
you've never experienced it.
Yeah. Well, it's like the first time I was in. I've been in a few earthquakes over the years, and the first
was the scariest.
the first one was the scariest one because first one I had was in Lithuania, and I'm like, what was that? But it was a small one. But I had friends that totally freaked out. But the first one I really like felt it. I was in one of my PhD courses in Portugal, and we're sitting there in class, and my professor, he's like, you are learning the Black Skulls model, and we are going through this, and he's going, and then like there's only 6 of us in a PhD class, they're very small, and so we're all sitting there doing this, and we all look at each other like, what the hell? And the professor doesn't even stop, like just keeps going, and the lady that was in there with me in the class, she's like, excuse me, professor, I believe there was just an earthquake. Could we pause for a second? He's like, it's over. Okay, and he just goes back, like, dude, like, it's like, hell, you were going through this one. It was hilarious. But then the last time I felt an earthquake, we were in El Salvador, actually, in February, and we both gotten bad water, and we both were having bad water going through us, and we were right on the coast, and it was 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm on the toilet, and then the earthquake comes, and I feel it. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. We're going to die. And I'm like, oh, they don't have the science. Okay, we're fine. But I was just like, earthquake while I'm not good times. Oh, Allison Randall, thank you. Or Radel. Thank you very much for becoming a helpful traveler. You rock.
Yeah, very fun. You'll enjoy the group.
Mr. Blonde says, I found myself constantly jumping from one YouTuber's live stream to another. Quarantine is keeping people busy. And that's what's nice. I'm so happy to see so many people doing these live feeds just to give people a chance to talk and interact. I know Means to Travel, they have theirs on Thursday. When's the other one?
Sunday.
Thursday and Sunday.
We have ours Wednesday and
Saturday. And so, you just hop on. And that's what nice. You can hop on for a little bit, chat for a bit, hop off. And I know ours...
and I was coming and going through theirs last week just
because
I was doing stuff with the kids and whatnot. So,
and then they answered your question when
I was gone. Mark Finley lived through an F4 tornado. That's big stuff right there, and I didn't even.
I'm glad my buddy was okay.
Yeah. My God.
Vice Storian. In my country right now, it's 3 a.m. Hey, we appreciate you being on with us, buddy.
Wowzer,
hope you're doing okay. See, 3 hours. So somewhere in Europe. Where are you at? I hope you're doing okay. Yeah. I hope you're all doing okay. Because you know what? There's a thing.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here.
Together.
To be okay or to not be okay together. Because you know what? It's okay not to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I posted something the last couple of days. I'm trying to post things because I've seen a lot. I mean, our last live feed, I could tell people were getting a little bit more worried. A little more frustrated and stuff like that. And I've seen that in my Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. And it's like, hey, a lot of parents were kind of frustrated in the homeschool and stuff like that. And just remember, if you're a parent, you're doing great. You're doing great. This is not anything that your parents never went through. Like the 6 feet of snow both ways, going to school stuff. No one had anything like this before. And that you're just trying to get through and doing the best you can, or even good as you can. That is awesome. So I salute you. This is to all those parents out there, but not just the parents, it's to everybody out there that's going through this.
It's for this whole wide world.
Because it's okay not to be okay. All right? And that's okay.
Yamas.
So. We got.
Yeah, just remember to treat one another with love.
So those we kind of answered a bunch of questions because we got stuck there for a little while.
And we had a big jump.
Yes.
I can't even see that.
So Christian Valdez asks, what are tornadoes like? So what will happen is you'll be watching the storm going by, like, oh, that looks interesting. And then you'll see this finger coming down out of the clouds. And you're like, oh, you pick the bad word you want to say. And then you see it touch, you're like, oh, and you got to get down in the basement as soon as you can, lowest point, or in the bathroom, in the center of the house kind of stuff. Because it's scary. I still remember as a little kid, we were going to South Carolina on vacation, and we got a flat tire, and there was a tornado. We could see it from where we were. It was out of a movie. How does this happen? I remember also when I was a kid, I was at my babysitter's, and there was a tornado out, and we had to go in the basement of my babysitter's house, and our babysitter was not a nice person. And so we only got to stay in her living room. No, in her kitchen. We couldn't even go in her living room. It was bad. And she's like, no, you guys go downstairs, and you're going to stay down there until your parents come and get you.
That was not Reva, by
No, that was not Reva. Reva was awesome. This was someone else. But you know what? In the 70s, it was hard to get good care.
There was a tornado the second day of school.
Here? Yeah.
Because that's when Jazz's uncle was here. So Yeah, it was crazy, and I was on my way to meet Mark and a friend of ours for coffee, and I literally did a UE in like 4 lanes of traffic and went back to the kids' school because I know that schools are strong buildings, and so I go running into the school with my hair flying all. It was crazy.
Poor Liam lost it.
He was crying. Every kid in his class was crying, and his teacher, you know how you all, okay, so when there's a tornado in a school, we all get in the hallway, and there's a tornado position, and his teacher was walking up and down the hallway reading to them about Rosa Parks and about being strong. Yeah. And I was like,
respect to Mrs. Frost. She's awesome.
That was an amazing thing. She's so calm and cool and collected. Yeah. I wish I had
she was a great teacher. She actually called Liam today. And I mean, she talked for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, and then I talked to her for 20 minutes. We could have talked all day.
Caleb's like, Mom, I need help with my math.
Too bad.
And I'm like, Mom can't help you with math. He's like, but she's been talking to the teacher forever. It's like, it's not your teacher, so what's the problem? Yeah, and I remember that one because I was at Barnes & Noble because that's where we have our dates. And I will give shout outs to people at the Barnes & Noble in Champaign, Illinois. When there's a tornado, they got everybody in the back. They're like, would you like some chairs? We can get you some chairs while you're sitting back here. They were phenomenal. I know, like, we've been there, and another tornado windstorm hit, and it shattered the window, and we had to pull the awning off the door so people get out.
So they could get out.
We got a Barnes & Noble when there's any natural disaster.
Their manager and
John's a good guy.
We are good friends.
Yeah.
Philippe, happy birthday, or should I say bon anniversary? I can't say French. I can't say it. I'm sorry, but happy birthday, and I'm sorry that it has to be like an inside birthday, but you know what? You got a birthday, and that's always important.
That's right. So, not PvP. I always wanted to go to remote jungles of South America and see one of those hidden Native American temples. You can do it. There's so many tours now. Like, here's the thing: is people
Guatemala
Tikal is incredible. El Salvador has some stuff, and El Salvador. The thing is, El Salvador, since we had, there's the war, and then there's the drugs and all that kind of stuff. They haven't uncovered a lot of the stuff. Like, there's huge complexes in El Salvador. Like, the money when it comes in, because the tourism's starting to come in, and they start uncovering this, you're going to see amazing stuff. Nicaragua as well. Nika's got good stuff. You can say Guatemala. There's more to uncover. You're going to see so many amazing things. Like, that's why we're putting out these videos. We do all this stuff in Latin America, Central America, South America, stuff like that. And people don't watch Central and South America videos. Like, people watch
I don't know why.
They watch Europe videos and the US videos, but it's just because not as many people travel there, I feel. And
I think that's crazy because I feel like, well, particularly Costa Rica, it's filled with Americans.
Yeah, but that's like saying Indiana's full of Americans.
Peru, lots of people go to Machu Picchu.
Yeah, and the ones that have the most views that we have is Machu Brazil Picchu. and Peru are the ones that have the biggest thing, and Mexico. So, but it's interesting because people will get really upset because I know there's some people that went by is like, will you ever go to places like Mexico or South America? I'm like, yes, we have literally hundreds of videos from there.
We go to Central and or South America. Like, let's just say Latin America, at least 2 trips a year, right? I mean,
this last year we went 4.
I mean, it's not unusual for us to do stuff on it. People just don't watch the videos very much, and so the algorithm.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
It doesn't always show things.
Yeah, it's nothing against you, because what'll happen is whatever you watch on YouTube. Sorry, I'm going professory here. Whatever you watch, they're going to show that stuff to you again. It's kind of like when people talk about your Facebook becomes an echo chamber, your YouTube channel becomes an echo chamber. It only shows stuff that you already watched. That's why if you like, let's say you go to Means to Travel or the Gallivanting Gals and you watch their videos and you subscribe, you watch a few, they'll send a bunch to you right away. And then if you don't watch like 10 right away, they like don't show any more to you again. Because they're like, no, we're just going to show you what you already want. And like, if you're only watching videos on France, they're only going to see stuff about France and Europe and stuff like that. But if you start watching stuff about China, then they might throw you some other Asian stuff. So it's kind of interesting to see those things because I get people on here that really get upset with us. They're like, you have nothing on Latin America, you have nothing on Africa. I'm like, well, we got all kinds of stuff in Rwanda, Tanzania. We've got videos on like 10 countries in Latin America. But I don't want to be mean, but it's just the algorithm only shows you what you've been watching, so it's kind of interesting. So Nilo, what made you decide to pursue a PhD in marketing? So my PhD is actually in management, not marketing. In Portugal, they did not have a marketing one. I want to do a PhD because I really enjoyed teaching. I knew that to be a professor, you need to have a PhD. And when I started doing my stuff, I wanted to focus at retirement for poor people in Brazil and poor middle class in Brazil. But unfortunately, that would be like a 40-year project. And so PhD needs to be a bit shorter. So I ended up going to Portugal and focused on the Brazilian banking sector during the last financial crisis to see what happened. But I really wanted to be teaching, and that's why I really love what I do now. Like some people are like, "Would you want to do Walter's World full time?" I would, but I don't think I could ever stop teaching because I just love it. I love my students. I really miss them. Like I'm actually on some other Facebook groups and stuff like this with other professors. I'm like, I just miss my students. Now I know not every professor misses their students, and I get frustrated with some of my colleagues, but I know that there's some of us out there that really, really do miss our students and being in class with them and stuff like that. But I should tell you all on Tuesday.
God, shut up. Mark, we've been on this one section for like an hour. We've got 400 more questions to answer. On Tuesday, scroll.
No, I'll do it. Go ahead. You go ahead.
No, you need to just let the thing roll, though, while you're yakking away, Professor Walters.
So Rebecca grew up in South Carolina and have had multiple hurricanes and tornadoes for half the year. Yeah, it depends where you go. You might have all kinds of different stuff.
And we have good hurricane parties in the Southeast.
Yeah, and then if there's another hurricane, they have all the stuff stocked up so they drink it and eat it and have a good time with it. Because we already ate all of our quarantine snacks, hence why. Hey, I'm just happy I can still get this. This is my smaller Andiamo shirt, and I'm still happy. Look, it's got looseness on it. I'm like, maybe I haven't done so bad. I'm too scared to go look at the scale.
Oh, so Eric Brown, hey. It is a lot of work to be a vlogger. Just ask Mark.
Someone was asking, have we ever thought about consider doing tours with our fans? I think eventually we will get there to that point. We would like the boys a bit older. What was that face for?
I was reading inside Lauren's brain. Honey, you need to have some water and maybe call a doctor. You sound unwell, sweetheart. Drink some water and
yeah, it looks like definitely get some substance in you.
Yeah.
And that's what I just called. There's all kinds of.
I know you're studying right now, and I got really sick when I was at the end of my schooling, and you need to make sure you're eating and drinking enough.
Yeah, because right now, because all of us are eating poorly in general and stuff like that, and you're not doing your same exercise and stuff like that. So, and one thing I want to say is you have a lot more telemedicine now. My brother is a doctor, and he started doing stuff online to help out.
Yeah, he is.
Stuff like that. And you want to, if you have a chance just to talk to a doctor, because a lot of insurance carriers now have a kind of number you can call. Instead of seeing your doctor, you can just call up. It can be a lot cheaper, but also they can help you out with some of these things. So you could tell them what happened, and that might be able to help you out. Because we love you inside Lauren's brain. We don't want you to be. We want you to be okay. Okay. Ivan Medina. Ivan wants to know what is your favorite book?
I was just going in there to see if I could find it. My favorite book is a book called The Damned Don't Cry, and it's an old Southern Gothic sort of book. But I was trying to find the book. I don't know where it is. It must be upstairs in my bedroom. And I was trying to find the author because it was out of print for a really long time. But my friend who owns a company called Cherokee Publishing out of Macon, Georgia, he brought it back into print, and so you can look for it there. It's a really good book.
So one of the reasons why we do get stuck talking about the same things again is because our thing gets stuck here. Oh, Hunting and Fishing TV. Thank you very much for the super chat.
That's very cool.
What are your favorite European cities to visit early December to get into the Christmas mood? We watched your Spain videos before we went last year and had a blast. Amy from South Carolina. So Amy, I'm glad we can help you out with the Spain videos. So if you're going to be going, if you want like the Christmas spirit kind of stuff, you want to stick to kind of Central Europe, Germany, Austria, Czech Republic. Those are my kind of like favorite ones to go to, especially Germany. If you're going early December, I would fly into maybe Munich and do like Nuremberg, Bamberg, Regensburg, go out in Salzburg, because you can stay in Munich and go to those places if you really want, or you can stay in different ones and do that. Another thing you could do is fly into Berlin and go to the Harz Mountains, and you go to Wernigerode and Quedlinburg and Goslar. There's these really cute towns right there. It's fantastic. And the thing is, those places, international tourists don't go there. It's just local Germans that go there because there's not the fast train there. But it's only like 2 hours on the train. Like, I've been there like, I don't know, 5 times.
That's my vote because you get all of the big city stuff in Berlin and you get to see. And my mother-in-law and I love to go and look at all the windows because they do up Christmas windows pretty well in Germany. So Berlin particularly, and you get that city feel and you get all of the history of Berlin. But then 2 hours on a train and you get to see like these tiny little towns that are just gorgeous. That's my vote. If he weren't a professor, he would have been a physicist.
Rocket scientist.
You just want to say rocket scientist.
Well, I was great at physics, and then I went and studied abroad, and I graduated high school early, and then I went back, and I didn't. If I wouldn't have traveled, I would be a rocket scientist. Moving on. Greetings, everyone around Mother Earth. Thank you, Lorelai. Jimmy says good luck with the stuff.
I'm gonna try to do it. I think I have most everything. I've got to check in it. I may have to wait until I think there was one thing in the list that I didn't have. It was probably like flour because I don't know.
Oh, someone's almost out of Mounds Minis. It's getting serious. I know.
I do like Flannery O'Connor. I have her collected works over there. She has had a home in Savannah, and so you'll find a lot of really cool Flannery O'Connor stuff there. And my old boss, who is a dear friend of mine, is a huge fan. But
Mark N writes, "Where can I get a Shut Up Mark t-shirt?" You know what? I'm gonna talk to my guy, and we're gonna put one out.
No, I want to design it.
You design it. You design it. We will put that one out. That will be a member Patreon special, limited run. Shut up, Mark. Oh, I'm sure my students would love that one too. Maybe I'll put that for my students.
Thank you, Mark, and you're awesome.
That's awesome.
Oh,
but I wonder if he really meant that. I bet he did.
I love you.
I love you too. So, Super Baking Mom, my husband is retired and really misses his students. He taught architecture at a community college. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things. It's really weird being an educator. You really like bond with your students, and it doesn't matter if you're in kindergarten or if you're in college. You really have that.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, Steph! Oh, hey, Shell! Oh, it's awesome. No, but as a
keep going, we'll talk.
Yeah, now I lost because Shelly's great. Shelly. We were with her in Rome and Germany and stuff like that. So my brain is like totally lost.
Oh.
Yes, Shelly. I remember you enjoying the wine in Rome.
We both enjoyed the wine in Rome,
but too much. But yes,
that was. Oh my gosh, bless your heart. So. Shelly is a friend of mine from Savannah, but her husband was stationed in Germany when we were living in Lisbon, and I was jonesing for some actual American style bacon. So when we went to visit them, she had like 400 pounds of bacon for me. I'm not kidding.
She's a good person.
But we made plans to meet up.
Good kids too. I hope everybody's
doing
well.
Kids. We met up in Italy for a few days. We spent like 3 days in Rome, I guess, together. Yeah. We taught our kids how to roll down hills. You know how you did when you were little? Like right outside the forum. Like this is
people are like, what the hell are they doing? And there's these women
idiotic Americans just doing their thing, you know. But wow,
But really the Italians were happy. The Italians were like nice, and they were like,
yeah.
Buono.
Yeah, really good stuff.
Anyway, what I was saying about the teaching stuff is whenever you teach, you really get attached to your students, and I've always kind of fought against teaching online. I mean, I know I do all these videos, and I do summary videos on my Professor Walters channel, but I've never really done like a full-on online class because I really like having that interaction. Even if they're like asleep in my class, I prefer having them there. But now how things are going, and we've had online stuff, so I'm trying to do that. But getting to that Tuesday thing I was trying to talk about.
What's on Tuesday?
On Tuesday.
Shut up, Mark!
Okay. Moving on.
No, come on. I was
No, Nicholas Howard wants to know, do you like camping trips? I live in Ontario and we have great spots. So if I can do the cabin stuff, because my back is really bad, especially right now, I can't do the camp.
I kicked him in the butt one too many times.
Yeah, she kicked my... but too many times. So like I can't sleep on the ground anymore. But if I do like doing it. It's like the cabins and stuff because we've done that before. But I know like in Portugal's got tons of campgrounds you can go to, and they'll have like the cabins and stuff like that. So really kind of cool stuff. And I know Ontario's got some kick what stuff. I miss our Canadian brothers. I want to get back up there.
Super baking mom. Her husband says he really misses his.
I know that's whole conversation you interrupted 3 times. Not once.
It's because I'm reading twice, all the other stuff.
But
I'm
thrice.
So sorry. I love architecture. That's all I had to say about that.
So Lorelai, we actually do have a vegetable garden. It's growing actually back over here. We got the first starting up there. Yes.
What's on Tuesday?
So Sharon wants to know, Josh, the rain wind jacket. Please say it's not going to stick to my skin and feel like a plastic bag. The jacket we have.
I can't say that it won't if you're hot and sweaty in it.
Yeah. But that's like all rain jackets.
Yeah, right. It's not like got a fuzzy lining or anything like that, but it's pretty good at keeping the rain off and not going in. So, like, I don't know. For me, rain jackets I just get hot and kind of sticky in them. So sometimes, yes. There was another one that we had tried. Other than that, the reason we didn't choose it is because it wasn't a really good packable sort of thing. And so I chose the one that's a better packing thing. All right. So
Brian Boyd, no one sleeps in marketing class at the University of Arizona. So
certainly not in Michael Fricke's class.
Well, Michael Fricke doesn't teach. He teaches management.
Yeah.
So Brian Boyd's on a one-man crusade to get me at the University of Arizona. Also, Professor Fricke at the University of Arizona, who used to be my colleague here at the University of Illinois, he is also on a one-man crusade to get me to go there. So that's pretty funny that's on there. And actually, he said there's a different person you need to talk to than the president because he really wants me to go there. Sorry.
The twins are graduating high school this year.
What? Oh my goodness.
Wait until I tell Caleb that. He's going to pee his pants.
My goodness.
And oh my gosh, yeah.
So Babs asked, do you always stay in an apartment when you travel, or do you ever do hotels?
We do both. So here's the thing. If we are going to stay in one place for more than like 2 or 3 nights, I will always book an apartment if I can. Mostly because it gives us more space. There are 4 of us. Often, especially in Europe and Central America, it costs, because we're 4 people. Yeah. And that would be really bad. So anywho, it sometimes we have to get 2 rooms. And so it's more expensive for us to get hotels over apartments. The other thing is, if we're staying somewhere for a long amount of time, I want to be able to cook meals so that I can save money. But
also we get to go to the supermarkets.
and that's a huge cultural thing. If you are traveling and you can go to a supermarket, or you can go to market, or you can go to like a drugstore, and I don't mean like pharmacies. Yes, everybody goes to pharmacies, but so in Europe, in the United States, we have Walgreens and the pharmacy is in there, and then the rest is what we call the drugstore, right? So in Europe, they're sort of separated. But both are kind of cool things to do because they're things that you can see in anywhere. And I find like going grocery shopping, it's just something everyone does everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
For the most part.
And this is one of the things I always tell my students, because those of you ask me to do tours, I do tours with my students actually. And we go on trips together and study abroad stuff. And I tell them, like, look, go to the grocery store. Just see what's there. If you don't buy anything, just go in there, because going to the grocery store teaches you so much about different cultures and stuff like that. And that's why I like going to Publix, or the Publix, as some people like to say, or the Pig. Exactly, in the South, is a very different experience than going to Kroger or Kroger's are all over the place, but like County Market where we're at, or if you're going out to Albertsons and stuff. I mean, it's a very different experience.
I mean,
Wegmans and the coast.
They're all special and different in their own way. But then when you take that and you go to another country, it's a whole other thing too. I mean, I don't know. I like those things.
Germany Travel Personal Guide says, Walterswood, you would be a great University of Florida professor. Just saying.
So, Darian, cram it in your pie hole.
So, for those who don't know, we did a tour of. So, when I started working at the University of Illinois, I was a visiting professor, so it was only going to be a short-term thing. And so, we did a tour of a bunch of schools in the Southeast. And so we went to University of Tennessee, we went to Georgia, we went to Alabama, Auburn, and we were driving by Gainesville. And Josh's like, oh, hell no. You can get gas at this intersect. You can get gas. And then you get back on the highway. I don't care.
I wouldn't even let him go into town. I'm like, this is not happening. We're Georgia people. You are not going in there. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, Darian.
So Jesse,
Go Dogs.
Jesse 747400747-400. Yeah, Jess.
747-400.
Sorry, Jesse. Jess has been on here before. So Jesse asks, have you ever ran into any other travel channel YouTubers? If not, what travel channel YouTubers would you like to meet? So we have actually met some of them. Some actually good friends of mine now. My favorite is Dutchified. He is based in the Netherlands, and he is a good friend of mine. Like we're love Arnaud
and Rob.
And then Rob and Trip Hacks DC. Those are two ones we do.
You and Rob are kind of like cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, Rob and I had a good time. Those are the ones like I try to, and we've reached out to other people to do stuff, but not things happen. But the ones I'd like to meet, I think it'd be good to sit down and have a drink with Gabriel Traveler. I like him. I like how he really is like, the dude is all about, I'm going to see the world at the cheapest price possible. I'm going to help people do that. He does a fantastic job for that. And Gabe does it. I mean, that's just it. He does it. He doesn't sell out. He doesn't like do the backflips. He's just like, hey, I'm walking around the town. I'm going to tell you what my trip was. And I really like him for that. So I'd like to meet him for a beer.
I like that honesty.
Yeah. And honestly, all of you, if I would meet up with you all, I'd love to have a beer with you. Or a soda, if you prefer, because I know not everyone drinks. Or water, if you don't drink carbonated beverages. So for me, it's anybody I can meet, any fellow traveler, because you can learn so much from so many of them. So, Justin's breaking.
Too bad Gainesville sucks. Mark's going to Tucson.
So, Brian Boyd, how do you have? Oh yeah, Brian's got a shirt. You're Brian. You're the other person that sent me the picture, by the way. That's cool. Lori says, my favorite teacher took me to Europe when I was 16 as a history teacher. That's cool. Awesome. And that's the thing is like being able to do trips like that when you're a kid, it's really an impressionable time, but also it opens your eyes so much. You're like, wow. Because I remember when I came back, my first trip abroad when I was 16, I went to Australia, and I came back and the world looked so different to me. And even the guidance counselor at our school was like, Mark, you seem different now. I'm like, well, there's so much out there. I don't know what I should do. Like before, my plan was I'm going to be the mayor of my town, and then I'll be the governor of my state, and then I'll be the president. Like that was you didn't know that. Okay, so that was my dream in high school.
Well, I wouldn't marry if you were going to go into politics.
Yeah,
and apolitical as anyone
and now I abhor politics. I never talk politics because I think it turns too many people against each other, and we're all together in this world. We're all humans, so we should all be, trying to work together for a better place. But anyway, So having that trip abroad really is a great experience, and that's why for me, when I take my students abroad, I teach at a business school, and a lot of my students are accounting students, and accounting has very strict like what you can take, when, and stuff like that. So those students don't get a chance to go abroad for a semester. Like my marketing students, they can go abroad for a semester to Barcelona and Austria, Sydney, China, all kinds of cool stuff. And so I'm like, look, I want to make sure these students can have a chance. And so I'll do like my marketing class abroad, and we'll have 20 students go, and 15 will be accounting students. I'm just happy that they get that chance. So I know how nice it is. So sorry, you're rubbing my back, which means you want to talk, and I'm talking too much.
It just means you're being professory. Sometimes he gets on a roll, y'all.
So speaking of professory for next Tuesday, is there another question you'd like to interrupt me with? Caleb will be in college before you know it. Thanks, Nader. Why don't you just stab me in the heart, buddy? I just watched Onward, and the dad dies before the kids can know, and only the oldest kid knows, and the youngest one doesn't. Damn you, Pixar. Damn you.
What's on Tuesday?
I can't talk now. Answer a question.
Good Lord, y'all.
Lorelai, I thought you only had little ones. Well, they're 13 and 8, so they are much littler than me, but that's because I eat too much. So there's that. On this Tuesday, on our Professor Walters channel, I will type it in here if people would like to go over and subscribe. You don't have to. But, if you want to go over. Professor.
What's on Tuesday? Who's on first?
Who's on first? Yeah, Here in a second. Anyway, so this Tuesday, I am going to actually teach my entire Introduction to Marketing course straight through. So starting at 8 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday on Professor Walters, I am going to be teaching the entire thing through with a little link on the bottom so people can go, and if they can donate, they'll donate to the University of Illinois Student Emergency Fund. So it's for students that like they can't pay their bills, or they got a boyfriend that's stalking them. They need to change their locks. Like they're the ones that like, I need money, help me. Like that fund there, we're going to be doing that. So the donations will be going to there. So I will be doing, I don't know if it's 16 weeks of classes. It's 15 topics. We're not doing the exams. I'm going to kind of shoot through it, answer questions while we go. So I'm going to guess it'll go from 8 in the morning in Chicago to at least 8 to 11 o'clock at night. And I'm going to go all the way through. And because I want my students to know I care, and I don't know how to show them I care, so I figured, hey, let's do something to help out some students. So on Tuesday, you can pop in anytime and say hi. Be like, hey, Mark, we're watching from Walter's World. It's totally fine. You don't have to donate or anything like that. Just know that I don't know what to do for my students, and so we're trying to do some other stuff to help out. So there is that. Yeah. Okay, Kripal, you guys are awesome. Do you have any plans on visiting India? Yes, we do. Liam is, I think he's probably old enough now.
Yeah, we've been kind of waiting until he was a little bit older.
And we do have a special connection with India, but we can't talk about it legally.
So we will go. We have some people that, one of Mark's old students is there, and he's from there.
My brother.
And so we'll be. I'm hoping he'll let us come and visit him and his family. And then we also have some people to meet up with in the mountains. I have all of that stuff written down, but yeah, so we're definitely doing it. We've just sort of been waiting until the kids were a little bit older.
Yeah.
So.
King Kong Beach. If you're ever in Lisbon, I've never been there before. I'll have a bottle of Vinho Verde. What's that?
Vinho Verde.
Ready. Chamarillo. Love the channel. Walter's guided me through my first solo travel to Peru. King Kong, I'm glad we could help out when you're in Peru, and yes, we love our time in Lisbon. I miss there. I love teaching at Nova, and I love teaching at EZEG. It was a good time.
I'd be okay with going back. Yeah. That's another. I would be comfortable with going to one of our homes.
This is a tough question. Samuel Lopez, if you have to choose between a few weeks between Costa Rica or Peru, which one would you pick and why?
That's not easy.
No, I think the few weeks part, that's where the difference is.
Yeah,
because if it's 2 weeks, you can't go wrong either one. But if it's a few, meaning 3 or more, I would do Peru.
Why am I even here?
Because you're smarter and more beautiful and amazinger than I am.
But you never shut up tonight.
That's why we need the shirt.
Oh my God! Somebody take the Jack Daniels away.
I'll tell you what. I'll just sit with my Jack Daniels. You answer the next 10 questions.
I am going to answer the next 10 questions.
I'm going to go look at the pictures.
You just look at the pictures over there. Okay. So, do your kids have a favorite country? Karen, they have a few. Much like Mark and I, they don't pick overall. Liam, his first favorite probably is Mexico. Caleb would say his first favorite is probably Rwanda. Both of them would like to go back to both of those places, but also Costa Rica and Iceland.
What? I'm not saying anything. Don't look at the camera feed. Just you go ahead.
We're just gonna sit here in silence for a while he decides to behave himself.
I'm doing this, so you can't.
Child.
They don't know. They don't know what I'm gonna say.
Child.
No, but the kids. Stop. Let me go back. Because our thing got frozen up again. See, this is the thing is when it gets frozen, it sucks.
Y'all can't shut up for 2 minutes. I
You know what? I'm going to shut up for 30 seconds.
Let's just see it happen. He has to leave. That's how bad it is. Want to return to the Czech Republic sometime in the fall. Loved Prague, but I thought Český Krumlov was a bit overrated. Any suggestions for other cities to visit to get the authentic Czech experience? I haven't been to very many others, but Mark would tell you that Pilsen is a really great place, and I'm pretty sure he'd go on and on and on because he's a little silly tonight. All right, so there you go. Sharon, I'm sorry about the rain jacket thing. I will see if I can't find the name of the other one. If you could maybe DM me on Instagram. My Instagram's down at the bottom of the screen. And I will see if I can't find the name of the other one that had the fuzzy interior. It's not as packable, but it's still a good jacket, and I would give you a second one of those, like a second option. Brian Boyd, on a scale from 1 to 10, where would you rank the contribution of pita and hummus? I don't know, but I really do love hummus. I don't eat a ton of pita unless I'm like in Greece. I don't know. I'm kind of gluten free, so yeah. Hummus is pretty dang important, though. I eat some almost, like, I'd say 4 or 5 days a week. Happy first night of Passover. Susan Mert. Oh, dang, nabbit, it just ran away. Whoa, we just had a big old jump. Yes, Michael Mon. Mark is in timeout. I'm scary mommy. Yes. All right. I can't wait until Mark and Jocelyn get old. I hope these arguments then are on YouTube. We have plans to do this all of our lives, y'all. We're just going to be the same forever. Amen. Have you guys ever hiked in any of the places you visited, prettiest ones? We hiked in Alaska, or not Alaska, what the heck? We hiked in Iceland, we hiked in Peru, we hiked in Ecuador, we hiked in Greece, we've hiked in quite a few places, some parts of England, or of Europe too. Scotland, we did some hiking. I don't know that I can say prettiest. Iceland is the most diverse, and everything is always gorgeous there. Ecuador, diverse in a different sort of way. Like, everywhere you go in Iceland has a different panorama, and Ecuador has different biosphere type things. Now you've got me, so I can't even say the words. They have very different ecological areas. So those would be my 2 favorites. I'm gluten-free, ding dong.
I'm sure there's very little gluten in there. Anyway, other great things. If you can do the Inca Trail, it's really cool, but you'll hate yourself when you do it because it's such a tough thing in the
See, I didn't do that
stuff. But it's so fantastic. Anyway,
we were talking. Okay, I caught your live stream this weekend, and you were talking about visiting with the indigenous and giving the kids soccer balls. Could you elaborate about this? I'm very interested to learn more. So, when we were in, we gave away soccer balls in both Rwanda and Tanzania when we were traveling this summer. We had tour guides from a company called Shadows of Africa. They did not sponsor anything. We're just saying that that's who we went with. And by the way, they were excellent guides. Like,
excellent guides.
2 of the top 5 guides we've ever had anywhere.
2 of the top 4.
Yeah. So, anywho, really great, and they got us in touch with local kids. And because we had our kids, we wanted to have, we wanted them to have that connection and stuff. So the really indigenous, like, we spent time with the Hadzabe people in Tanzania. The Hadzabe are they speak in clicks. Like, Anna is hello in Hadzabe. I have a bunch of other words that are written down. Anyway, we got to spend some time with them. We did not get them a soccer ball. I don't think that
we'd already given away we gave away everything.
I don't think they would have been able to carry it. They literally, like, they go from place to place following animals. That's how they eat and survive and everything else. And so they wouldn't have been able to do that. And it was a very small group. I don't know. I mean, you really need to talk to your guides. And if you're interested in giving people soccer balls, take over flat balls and take a hand pump with you You can get them at Dick's Sporting Goods and all sorts of other things. There are also other kinds of balls that are solid, but still have sort of the weight of a regular soccer ball. But those are harder to pack.
Yeah. Because there's like the stronger nerfs and stuff like that you can do.
Yeah. So, well, no, I mean, there's a new type of solid soccer ball that I was looking into. I would really like to somehow offer this somehow through Walter's World website, and I'm kind of working on that, but quarantine has sort of thrown a lot at us right now.
And we're working right now to try to figure out a way that, because we have fans out all over the world, so we're trying to figure out ways how we can help up everybody's local community. So there could be an announcement next week about ways to help.
Yeah,
we're working on all kinds of stuff.
It's really hard sometimes being as international as we are. It makes things more difficult with tax things and shipping things.
Oh my god, I feel so bad. The shipping to get this, like the Andiamo shirts and stuff like this abroad. I almost want to make it like, look, just in the U.S., because to get it there is like stupid expensive, and we don't charge anything extra. It's just like USPS is like, no, you're gonna pay $90. It's like,
so I'm opposite, Mark. What I think we should do is find, I don't know if we just take over a suitcase full of stuff every time we go and set up some friends somewhere in the middle of Europe and make them, pay them somehow, every time they ship stuff, they get €1 or whatever. I don't know. I feel like there has to be a way to make that happen. But then we have to start doing that on every continent, and I don't know how we're going to do that. Anyway, someone asked how many times we'd been to Greece. 4 or 5. I don't know. And not enough. I mean, that's the answer. I mean, there's never enough. I want to live there. That was actually what drew Mark and I together when he messaged me on Facebook, and he was living abroad, and I was like, oh, I never shut up.
I never shut up. No, I'm just saying, I never shut up. You've been going for like an hour now.
I know, because I'm trying to make up for all this.
I know, so keep going. Keep answering the question, poor person.
Okay, so anyway.
Angola is nice. Go on. They're listening.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
You're talking about Greece and...
Okay, so Mark was trying to help me get a visa, and instead of getting a visa, I got a marriage license, y'all.
See, I was trying to keep her away from me, and like, go to Greece, get away from me. So I was trying to do my thing. People that watch us normally are like, oh yeah, good call, Mark. Albert, no, I have not been to Hebrides, but I'd like to go there. I know my mom would go with me there in a drop of a hat. There's some other good questions that Johnson didn't answer.
Lori Sims had one. I always travel with clothes that I can leave. We do that too. Yeah. We often take clothes and leave them for other people.
So there's a few ones. So Gui Tejada, which is Gui, thank you very much for helping out with
in Portuguese we say
Tejada. Desculpa.
Yeah.
Todo.
Desculpa. Menino. No, basta.
Anyway, so Gui asked, what's your favorite American dish? So Kraft macaroni and cheese is number one. And my mom, who might still be watching, I used to have her send that to me when I lived abroad for 12 years. She would send me boxes. And my old roommate Audrey is a French woman, and she's married to a Portuguese guy, and we're all friends. And so she's like, I always knew when Mark had too much to drink, because I'd wake up in the morning and there they'd be that damn blue box in the garbage, because that was like my drunk food when I lived abroad. And so that's number one. Number two, chocolate chip cookies. And the funny thing is I would have my mom would send me, my mom's the best mom ever. Just let you know, your mom might be nice, but my mom's the best.
She's pretty amazing.
She's freaking amazing. So she would make chocolate chip cookies and send to me. And they got to be so famous. So I lived 3.5 years in Lithuania, 2.5 years in Germany. I lived a lot of places. And my friends would know that if a box came from America, that meant that Mama Walters sent chocolate chip cookies. And so they would come and oh, there's a box for you, Mark. And they were like, whoom, like everyone would like circle around because you send like 2 or 3 dozens. And so my buddy Alvi, who's in Lithuania, best buddy in Lithuania ever, I love the guy to death. He he knew when box would come, and so he's like, "Hey, Mark, you got to think because
You got a box.
His parents lived kind of above the post office, and so when we would come, we're like, "Hey, Avi, I got to go pick something up. I'm gonna be by you." He's like, "Oh, you got a package from Mom?" So my mom would send like cookies for me. She sent like a dozen to me. Then she's like 2 dozen to Ali when she goes. So that's the American stuff. And then Benokos writes, "In which country have you experienced the best McDonald's? The worst McDonald's?" So my favorite, first time I was abroad and had McDonald's was in Australia. They have the sweetest ketchup at McDonald's in Australia that it makes it just amazing.
No, that sounds terrible.
Well, anyway,
Hesburger
they didn't
for
ask
the win.
you. Oh, Hesburger totally the greatest ever. That's not. We're not talking about Hesburger. Hesburger and Culver's. I'll just take that with me to heaven. I'll be fine. But
the best McDonald's. You know, my favorite one is the one inside the Lisbon Zoo, just because it's inside the Lisbon Zoo. By the way, Jardim Zoológico in Lisbon is like it's my favorite zoo in the world. Architecturally,
yeah,
it's such a beautiful place because it used to be the grounds of a Marquês.
Was it Marquês Pombal's place?
I don't know if it was Pombal, but anyway, it was a marquee, and it was pretty amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And also the ones that serve me wine, obviously.
Yes, it's always helpful.
Do you guys store your spare currency from other countries in a cool way so you can use it again on the next trips? No.
So Elise,
Not
not the coins. The coins go into a big jar and they kind of fall in there. Some of them might fall out, and I'll be like, "Oh wait, we're gonna use those." The bills we do. The bills go into the our passport holder.
Yeah, but I mean, we never have very much. Like
no, we don't.
So here's the thing: we tend to try to, if we know we're not going to be back in a country for a long time, we try to
spend everything we can.
We buy everything we can. Usually in at duty free, I buy a bunch of candy and I bring it back, and we sponsor this little thing at the kids' school. Where kids they throw darts and pop the balloon, and inside the balloon is a country, like a slip of paper with a country on it, and then I give them a piece of candy from that country. So we use up a lot of it that way. But if it's euros, we never really have more than let's say 50 euros on us that we bring back, and that's just so that we have enough to get to the like a taxi or whatever. We don't keep a lot, to be honest.
So Reggie and her man, I'm gonna guess you're gone now. That just popped up. I hope you had a good time.
Shut up, she said.
No one loves. Everyone loves Jocelyn.
Brian Boyd, is it just me, or is the second Big Fat Greek Wedding just a recap of the first? Also,
the first 75%, 60% is. The last part is just a rehashing of it to make it fun. Still nice.
Brian, both of them are not comedies. They're actually documentaries.
Yes.
Okay.
But your second part, yes, the 7 Star Wars is just a rehash of New Hope. So yeah, there is that. So, and you know what? I'm going to go out there and be controversial. I'm going to say I really liked Rise of Skywalker, considering I thought it was fine to finish off with. I liked it too. I was okay with that. It had the redeeming part. It had good stuff. I'm cool with that. Mm-hmm. So, Forever Bookish, what is your quirkiest airline you've been on? I don't know, quirkiest. I do recall flying in Peru where there was no seatbelts, or there was broken seatbelts. They said, "Oh, just move over there." And they're like, "You can take a seatbelt from over there and bring it all the way across 2 seats. You'll be fine." I'm like, "True, we're just all going to die anyway if it goes down." So there's that.
Banancos, this coming Sunday is Easter on the Gregorian calendar and Palm Sunday on the Julian. Yes, it is.
That's why we have lamb chops and leg of lamb, because we can have 2 Easters in a row.
That's right. That's actually...
So
Easter is my favorite.
Someone pays attention.
So Easter is my favorite holiday, both liturgically and also superficially, whatever. What do you call it if it's not Christian? What do you call that?
I don't know.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Right.
Let somebody write the word down.
No hablo
Anyway,
inglés, cuando no hay escuela, no hay inglés, yo dentro de las cosas.
does it help when you say it in the Spanish?
Sometimes it helps me because then I say it in Spanish and then I remember the word in English.
So anyway, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore.
So my mom did. Yes, I did boxes. My mom probably could have sponsored a lot of people and helped a lot of people out with the number of boxers she sent me around the world. But
she
Mom,
did
thank
sponsor
you.
a lot of people because you shared.
That's true. That is true because I'll tell you, my friends,
good
everywhere
man.
I lived, Italy, and Lithuania, Germany, Argentina, Brazil, Finland, everybody knows Mrs. Walters, and she hooks them up and the chocolate chip cookies.
She used to send. You know what she sent me?
Cakes. Oh, sorry.
When we got married and we were living in Portugal, and you know what she sent me? She sent me a lot of stuff, especially when I was on bed rest. She sent me.
Toasted Rasp from St. Louis.
She sent me all sorts of like, oh gosh, Anne of Green Gables.
Which we've shared with other families to help them.
Yeah, I mean, she sent me a lot of things, but you know what she sent me that was really important? And ladies, take note of this. She sent me tampons. Because outside of the United States, there are basically two brands of tampons. There's Tampax and there's OB. And that's pretty much it.
But you need to tell them the problem.
I don't like either of those. Okay. So women pretty much know that generally speaking, OBs don't have applicators. They do occasionally
so those guys that don't know, now you know.
They occasionally, you'll find some that have applicators, but most of the time they don't, right? So she sent me tampons that I liked. And to this day, I'm hugely grateful for that.
See, Mom? You're the bestest.
And I just talked about tampons.
That's right. And Dad, hey, Dad, you're fantastic too.
And
we
Bill,
think you're
I hope
wonderful.
You heard the conversation about tampons.
You're a great dad, fantastic father-in-law, great grandfather. I mean, how many pictures do we have of Liam going like, Grandpa? There's some of Caleb too, but Caleb got older faster.
Blaze, this is funny. Did you enjoy Bath? That's right next to Bristol. Yes, it is.
Yeah, well, England, yeah.
Well, it's sort of.
Yeah, it's close enough, yeah. No, Bath.
I'm going back.
Jocelyn wants me to look for jobs at
totally cool with Bath.
And the University of Illinois, where I work, actually has an exchange program in Bath. So
Shut the front door.
I know if I could do. That's why I was thinking about maybe doing a summer program there or something like that. But if we could do a semester program, maybe a year, we could live there together.
Give me a semester.
I know, but I don't know if work will do that. Hey, but if we're all stuck on quarantine.
Maybe if the dean's watching this. Oh, if the dean's watching this.
If the dean's watching this, I'm fired. I ain't got nothing. But I will give a shout out to my dean. Dean Jeff Brown at the University of Illinois. So we're all trying to put together this, so I'm doing the marketing marathon on Tuesday, and we're trying to put together a marathon at the University of Illinois, in the Geese College of Business. So it's going to be a bunch of different professors like hopping on for like 45 minutes to give a fun lecture, just to show students that we still care, and maybe we can raise some money to do some stuff to like help out. And I wrote Dean Brown, and he's right away, I'm in. I wrote to all kinds of professors, and a lot of professors were like, I don't have time for this, but like half the professors were like, yeah, I'm in. So that was awesome. And then the dean's like, hell yeah, I'm in. I'm like, respect for that. So respect. I know none of you are Illinois fans or anything like that because our sports teams aren't very good in the big sports, but in small sports we're awesome. But anyway, Hunting and Fishing TV, how'd y'all get started in your travel YouTube channel? The travel started because I wanted to help her prepare for coming to Portugal. And also, I got really tired of all the BS in a lot of the guidebooks and blogs out there that made every town sound fantastic because they got paid off. And I'm like, this isn't right. And I didn't want my friends who had 10 days vacation a year to waste 10% of their vacation going to some crap town. So I really wanted to help people out. And it really started with helping, whether it was my students or it was my wife-to-be or other travelers. And that's one thing we've held true throughout. So. Ketchup flavored chips. Crisp.
I don't particularly like them, and I don't particularly like ketchup either.
No, she doesn't. Like, I have to, like, Liam's like, can we get ketchup, Mom? We're out.
Jess, 747-400. Not pagan. It's just not, what do you call that?
I know it's
when it's
the
not,
word will come to
when
me
it's not
because
related
it's
to church. It is.
Yeah, I don't have my phone, so I can look it up.
I have my phone. You can look it up.
Laura, Amazon wish list.
We would be
Malcolm
best
in New
team
Zealand.
on the Amazing Race.
So New Zealand. We think we're gonna be there down to see you early next year. Of course, I say it and it's gonna go bad. Give me your phone. Knock on wood. Because the word, I know the word, and I can't think of it, and it's a totally simple word.
All right. Forever Bookish says you two would be the best team on the Amazing Race. We wouldn't, because we wouldn't get anything done. We laugh way too much. We goof off way too much. Those people have got to be serious, and they got to go kick some ASS all the time. I almost said it. See how I spelled it?
Yeah. You only said it like 5 times already, but what? No, I don't know.
All right. Kathy, your mother says, I would not have imagined. I guess that the tampons were so amazing. And Lori says, wow, way too personal. Well, you know what? This is what it is.
We hold nothing back.
Because this is who we are.
This is who we are.
But part of it is that when you travel, you have to take things like that into consideration.
Secular.
That's the word.
That's the word. We know this word.
So there are things that you don't think about when you first start traveling abroad, and that you learn when you're traveling abroad. And so I say things like this because somebody needs to know that. Look, Megan Morris says, yes, Jocelyn, great tip. I have had issues with tampons abroad. Hard to find applicators. Paid $5 for one tampon at a Swiss hotel. Well, that's because you're in Switzerland, sugar, because Switzerland likes to...
Fuck everyone. Well, I said that out loud, didn't I?
They're very expensive in Switzerland.
Yeah. Don't even get me started with Switzerland and how they treat people.
It's very, very expensive. All right. I am a big fan of Greek mythology.
I do apologize because I do try not to ever cuss, so I'm sorry. Well, which is funny because you take my class, you're like, wait a minute, he's like a sailor, but this is a little different.
I'm a big fan of Greek mythology. Is there a couple of places or areas in Greece you would recommend to visit? Go ahead.
Delphi. Definitely do the day trip to Delphi from Athens. Delphi. Sorry. If you go to Crete, go to Knossos and do that. That's a really fun one. And then just anywhere you go in Greece in general, you feel like, my goodness, I could be at Hercules. I could be doing this thing. I mean, it's really, really a cool thing.
All right. All right. It was just delayed. Do you have any safety issues while in Morocco? I went to Tangier in November, had a great time, but had to fight off the hustlers with my backpack, looking to return. But this aspect was we didn't have anything that bad.
But we could see it.
It could happen.
It can happen. I mean, it did help that I was probably 50 pounds more than I am now when we were there. And we had 2 kids and we had a guide, and I could see, and that's one of those things that...
And I tend to carry myself like I'm going to kill you.
Yes, and it does make a difference. And this is why walking with confidence is not just good for, like, when you're home, it's for anywhere. Because people do not rob people they feel are confident. They rob people that look like they're weak and timid and stuff like that. So one of the best things you can do as a traveler is just walk with confidence. Walk with your head high. Be like, you know what? Even though I'm lost... I'm going. They're like, oh, that's a normal person.
Nilu said secular. Yes, thank you, dear.
Thank you.
And Tommy too.
Philip Chartrand.
Sorry,
I've been drinking whiskey.
Thank you for the super chat. Just saying thanks for the travel advice. It helped me to make the most of our 4 days in Barcelona, where we found some great pinchos bars. Yes, in the university area. What's your favorite German beer? So, Philippe, I just want to say I'm really glad that we were helpful to you. Barcelona is a great town.
I miss my pinchos.
And more importantly, I love that we helped you when you had a short amount of time, because that's kind of an important thing, so that you get a good taste of something when you haven't got a lot of time.
Yeah, we can't think of secular. We can't think of double negatives.
I've had 2.5 glasses of wine.
I've only had a little whiskey.
You didn't drink all of that. It's not like you.
That's right. You had the rest.
A week ago, Mark, stop it.
I'm kidding. She's fine.
Okay.
She was drinking something else.
So, no, I did drink whiskey.
I know. You're drinking something else.
What's your favorite German beer?
Weisstefana, I like that a lot. I like Weisstefana and Kustritza are my two favorite
What
ones.
about that bacon beer?
Well,
Rockberg.
so
Rock
if
something.
if you're in Bamberg, sorry, I should stipulate this. If you're outside of Germany and you are looking for a good beer, Weisstefana, they have multiple types of beer. Their Pilsner's nice, but you want to get their Hefeweizen, that's their good stuff. And then you got Kustritze, which is a Schwarzbier, which is a black beer.
Say it.
Black beer, Schwarzbier, Kustritze, Kastreitzer, if you saw it.
Well, that's sometimes you say things very, very German, and I know, but not everyone speaks the German.
Philipp does.
It kind of Deutsch. I know I didn't say it right.
You're fine. Okay. You're good. They don't understand. So those ones you can get in the U.S. really easily, and you can find them lots of places. They have very good distribution within the U.S. Now, in terms of the beer that I enjoy, and when people talk about things you didn't like at first but then loved, the bacon beer, the Rauch beer, or smoked beer you get from Bamberg, that is one I really, really do enjoy because it's like beer infused with pork rinds, which sounds horrible. And like I still remember the first time I had it, I drank the first half. I'm like, oh, this is horrible. This is horrible. And then I'm like, but I'm in Germany. I'm not going to waste this. And it's like, oh, this is actually okay. This is great. This is amazing. My life has been changed. And I ordered all the time. So that's always a good one. Let's see. So, the amazing Gurpu. Hey, Walter. I live in Seoul. Have you ever been here? The virus has pretty much died here and it's pretty normal again. And I salute South Korea because they did a good job of testing everybody to figure out what's going on. They're doing a really good job with that. So my dad actually worked and was the head of his company for South Korea for a number of years, but never took me or my mom. And my mom and I aren't bitter at all about this. At all. Dad. So no, we haven't been. That was one of our plans for next year. Our big summer USA trip was going to be going down, do Australia, New Zealand, then go up to Indonesia, Philippines, Taiwan, South Korea, and then come over. But alas, now we don't know what the hell's going on, so it's kind of tough. But that was the original plan. I wanted to go there. We've had some opportunities, but we will get there. So.
And I want to just say that I think that South Korea has done South Korea. I was also reading at the same time, and my ADD kicked in. I apologize. So I just want to say that South Korea has done an incredible job. I think that the rest of the world needs to pay attention to what they've done and how they've handled this entire thing. Good job. Happy for you guys. And I wish the rest of us were doing it too. So also, Talia, thank you. Yes, I sometimes have that same facial expression.
So Noah Ebert points out, Jocelyn tells Mark to shut up and robbers tremble with fear.
I didn't say that, but I do.
You didn't say that. No,
I do walk around like I'm going to kill people sometimes. I mean, if I'm.
No, you don't.
If we're in.
Well, no. Tell them the advice you have for female travelers with the keys and the coffee and the stuff.
No keys. That's a stupid one. So I've taken a lot of self-defense courses, just different types of things. And there are some stupid things, but the first thing is to walk with confidence. Just be comfortable and feel strong about who you are, and know that you can handle yourself in a situation, and people are less likely, like, if somebody's gonna rob somebody, they're not going to the person who looks like they're gonna be able to like handle it. They're gonna go to the person that looks meek and scared. I tend to not be meek and scared kind of ever. I might be quiet. That doesn't mean that I look scared. Okay, so there's that. So I had one person, one of my trainers tell me, whenever you leave a bar late at night or anywhere, carry a cup of hot coffee. And if somebody comes up in a threatening manner and they speak to you or try to grab you or anything like that, throw hot coffee on them and they'll be stunned enough that you can run away. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but it kind of works. He used to tell, and it's a little different now, I guess, but he used to tell women, particularly, carry a lit cigarette. Even if you don't smoke, just carry a lit cigarette and burn somebody. I mean, do whatever you have to do to defend yourself, to give yourself that split second to run away. And I don't know, maybe some of what I've said is like a little bit controversial, but I still want to say that. All right, so Darian says Heffa, please. Heffa Bitta. All right. Brian Boyd, yes, I am half Greek. Are you related to either? Oh, it ran away.
Where'd you go?
I don't know. Dag nabbit.
Yeah, so what we have, well, again, don't forget, like, what you see and what we get is kind of different.
Are you related to either John Stamos or George Stephanopoulos?
Yes, of course.
No, I'm not related to either one that I know of. I would have married George Stamos if I hadn't met Mark. But I met Mark, so, you know.
Yeah, eat that. God, he's good looking, though. He's got that great hair.
He's kind of pretty.
He's kind of a nice actor too.
Yeah.
He always played like Uncle Jesse was nice. The other place he always played a nice person in his roles. I think I like him better than she does. But anyway,
that was a little weird. Oh, husband, I love you.
So John Howarth, I was pleasantly surprised when I visited Brussels. I feel like it definitely outshined Frankfurt, but I didn't really get out of the city. So here's one of the things. So Frankfurt and Brussels kind of fall into my they're more popular for tourism than they should be category because of what they do. So Frankfurt is the business capital of Germany, and Brussels is the home of the European Union. So they show up in the news all the time. So we all kind of think of them like they're like a world-class city. I mean, they're world-class cities, but like you kind of put them on the New York, London, Paris stage because you see them in the news like they're like that. But in reality, they're smaller places with not as many things to see and do, but they can have some nice stuff to do. I know I diss Brussels a lot, but it's just because it gets too hyped up because of this. But there are some great museums there. The square is very nice and stuff like that. But Frankfurt's another one that Frankfurt actually has a really good museum quarter. And if you go there, the apple wine festivals and stuff like that around there can make a good base. And that's one thing I always tell people, like, look, if you're going to be a big city, find the day trips. Find these things to get out. Because whether you're going to Chicago or New York or wherever, you're going to have a different experience. So,
Lori Sim says food tours are the best. Hang on, somebody.
Sorry.
Lori, food tours are the best in any country. So, Lori, I'm gonna say, hang on, there was something else right after that. Food tours are the best in your city. I love to take food tours. I love to take cooking classes in different countries. I think that it's a great thing. You can often find really good ones on Airbnb experiences. Again, I'm going to say make sure you read the fine print and make sure you read the reviews. But are you talking about Mr. Blonde?
No, I'm saying yes. Like read those reviews because.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, the experiences thing.
Yeah, anyway, definitely take food tours. Take the ones that allow you to taste things and take you maybe to restaurants and things on top of it. I did a really great one of the best ever was in Rome. Another one that was really great was in Portland, Maine. We had a great time. There's a sticky rice place. There's this building and it's like a food court. There's sticky rice and those girls were awesome. They're two sisters that run it. One of them knew us.
I remember you talking about that.
And somewhere I've got a video on that. But anyway, that was really great. No, Mr. Blonde says Mark is Walter and Jocelyn is his world.
Damn straight.
You're mine too. Aww. I love you. Dan B says you frequently mention your top 3 cities in Europe and Paris. Your top 3 cities in Europe
Paris,
are Paris, Rome, and Prague.
Boom.
They're his. But what are your personal least favorite cities? Not enough to do, etc., and why? What is going on?
So that Frankfurt and Brussels kind of thing, it kind of comes down to places that are overhyped in terms of what you can do. So like Paris, Brussels, Pisa, these are places that people like end up going to because they're kind of famous, but they're not really worth as much of your time as you think. So that's one thing I always kind of worry about. Sorry, Justin's getting texts from people on here.
I'm getting Instagram messages from followers on here.
So Noel Ebert asks, what's very southern in the U.S.? So the food, lots of food, sweet tea, fried chicken, barbecue, all kinds of those things is super
manners.
Southern. Yeah, lots of manners. You got to have good manners when you're down there.
Good Lord, Mark goes through the food.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry. Pasta Punk, your super chat just popped up for us. I don't know how long it's been over on there. I apologize. What we see is different than what you see. But Pasta Punk, best European city for a 20-year-old solo traveler. So, I would say, I'm going to guess you want affordable, you want parties, and you want a little culture as well. So I'm going to go Berlin, Prague, Paris, London. The London's not super cheap. Those would be the ones. Or
I take London out. It's too damn expensive.
It's too damn expensive, but there's really good nightlife. Or you're looking at some of the Iberian Peninsula, Lisbon, Madrid, Barcelona.
Okay, so I would say Prague, Lisbon, Berlin, and then Barca. Those would be my top 4.
Yeah, because back in the day, we used to shake our tail feathers and dance. Back in the day, they had these things called the Running Man and kind of stuff.
And I was in junior high, child.
Whatever. Remember, I'm 8 months older than you. It was a total different time. I was way ahead of my day.
We're totally different generations.
That's right, you millennial. Anyway.
I'm not millennial.
Anyway. But Pasta Punk, I will say, no matter where you go in Europe, you'll have a great time. It's funny because you're going to find a lot of clubs, you're going to have a lot of stuff going out. Don't be afraid to go out earlier and enjoy beer gardens, stuff like that, because what you'll see is that's where people, especially in Central Europe, that's where a lot of young people go and meet up and have a good time, and you get to meet people that way. And that's what's cool with travel when you're young. If you're 20, I would say if you're going by yourself, stay at hostels, because then you get to meet other travelers that really are out there too, so you kind of have a buddy for the day.
Bia, thank you for the compliment on the green dress.
Philippe Chatrand is our newest helpful traveler. Man. Thank you, my friend.
Enjoy.
We just had a live feed with our patrons and members this last weekend. We'll have one probably
we'll do another
next week.
Probably in a week or so.
Yeah.
And they're much less frenetic than this.
Yes.
Things will be a little bit calmer because we'll have these chats will have anywhere from 10 to 12 or 13,000 people log in at some point in time. That doesn't mean they stay the whole time, but it can get pretty crazy. And as you can see, that thing flies by for us sometimes, and we don't get to it.
And with the whiskey and the wine, it makes it a little bit tougher.
With the whiskey, because the wine is not having an effect because I sip slowly.
Y'all got problems.
Anyway, so our members and patrons chat is a lot calmer. There's 35 to 40 people usually. And we, as much as we talk, everyone's talking amongst themselves because everybody's kind of gotten to know one another, at least virtually, which I think is a beautiful, wonderful thing.
Yeah, and that's one thing we really appreciate is all the camaraderie we all get.
It's an awesome thing, and I love this on both chats that people are talking to each other and having this, and I love that there is community here. I think that's amazing. Terry said that instead of walking like she might kill somebody, she takes her 6'8" bodyguard. I didn't realize that Mark.
Mark is at least 17 feet taller than me.
I did not know that he was 6'8". So he's
he's pure muscle as well.
He's Big Caleb size.
Yes, he's Big Caleb size.
Because he's Big Caleb's
That's right.
That big.
But he's got musical skills.
There you go.
Sorry, there was one. So Mr. Blonde, it's Mark, or am I missing a joke? So Mr. Blonde, a lot of people don't realize that my name is actually Mark and then my last name is Walters. A lot of people will come and just say, hey, Walter. And so they don't know that my name's actually Mark, and then it's Walters is my last name, and I'm totally fine with it. But sometimes you'll get people that will be mean to people that comment on our videos about that, and I'm always like, hey, it's okay.
Just trying
to let them know, but
up for you to let them know at the same time. It's hard true. Sometimes, right? When we're typing things, sometimes it seems very as if though we're being mean when we don't mean to be, and things like that.
Yeah, that's why whenever anybody calls me Walter, I still answer. It's totally fine. I mean, believe me, as being a college professor, I've been called much worse. So Hunting and Fishing
maybe
TV,
by your wife.
maybe on this channel during a live session. Hunting and Fishing TV, I love I gotta follow them. What is the best day trip from Amsterdam? You got a few good ones. Utrecht.
Utrecht and Haarlem.
Haarlem and Leiden are your three best ones, all within 20 minutes from
Go
the
down
station.
to the Keukenhof if you're there anytime mid to late April to maybe the first week or so of May. You get to see all the flowers and stuff at the Keukenhof. And actually, Sahil, who is not on tonight because I'm sure he's already asleep.
It's like 4 in the morning.
I know. He said that there are some things from the Keukenhof right now that are live.
Online.
Yeah, so online. So because the flowers are just, there's nothing like it. My sister and one of my girlfriends and I went 3 years ago. Actually, this week we were there, and holy honkers, it was just incredible. We rode bikes through the tulips, and wow, it was just amazing.
So Thomas Gobold, have you visited Portland, Oregon? I haven't. My mom loves it, so if I ever go back, she's like, I'm going with you. So, well, I'm sure we'll get there.
Babs,
for Mom. Sorry, Babs.
Babs, our kids want to go back to Rwanda, Iceland, Costa Rica, and Mexico. Those are the top 4 for them. Oh, wait, we got a new member.
We did? Oh, there it is. Thomas Higgins. Thank you very much for becoming a helpful traveler. We appreciate it. Welcome to the club. It's really awesome. Thank you so much.
Thomas Higgins. Was that the name of the guy?
You're thinking
the movie.
It's not a movie.
It's a musical.
It's a musical. And I played in that musical.
Y'all should hear him sing.
My Fair Lady.
I got it. But you should hear him sing. There is no reason this boy should be in a musical.
I used to have skill. No, I didn't. I always sucked at singing. But confidence goes a long way. So thank you, Thomas, for becoming a member on here. That's really awesome of you.
A former coworker from Bulgaria convinced me to visit. Have you been? Any tips? Also, thank you for supporting your students. Good teachers are sometimes hard to find.
I'm glad I can.
Yep.
No, we have not been to Bulgaria yet. Again, another place that was a
possibility. So this summer was there were 2 tracks that we were looking at doing, and it was kind of going to end up being like, when we got close to that time, which one was the cheaper trip, cheaper flights. And so we were either going to do some chunks of the Middle East, like we were going to go.
Well, we were going to have
Israel,
and Ethiopia.
Right? Or we were going to go the other way. We were going to do like Romania, Bulgaria, like we're going to do a sort of a circle.
Former Yugoslavia down to Greece.
Right, sort of in that thing. Then there's the COVID.
Yeah, so.
And Lord knows what's in the plans for us. I'm just going to leave it in His hands, and we're going to get to all of those places one day, because there's a big, beautiful world that I want to see, and so we're going to make it happen.
That's right. Hey, Noel, good luck studying, buddy. I'm sure you're off by now, but we appreciate you being here. Bill Green's on?
Bill Green's on here.
Ibiza for the God, Bill Green, man, it's old school right there.
And he says Ibiza for the party scene. Well, yeah, probably that would be it. Yes.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Under the so if you're looking for the join button, it's down below. Just join it. It'll explain what you need to know.
Mark burned his own daughter? What is that? Hang on, it was right there.
I've never had a daughter.
Mark Finley burned my own daughter.
Oh, burned by my own daughter.
Oh, she's burned by.
What did April say? Mark Finley wishes he was pure muscle. April.
He's sweet, honey. He's putting a roof over your head.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. So he is the best looking, smartest, awesomest male ever.
Country advice: put Caleb and Liam's favorites if they're interested. They're always interesting. Kids tell you what they really think with no filter, and that's insightful. But, we haven't done an interview with the kids in a minute.
Well, I did one with Liam, but Caleb didn't. But Caleb was okay with it. I think it's go on.
We kind of try to get one like every year, every 18 months, something like that. Just, for our own sake, we do often we put them online, but not always. And it's just to kind of get their perspective, because Nader, you're right. They always say things with such honesty, and it is unabashed honesty. There is no filter.
Yeah. Hey, Bonacos, no one wears the wooden walking shoes. Sorry, the clogs. No one actually does that. Professor Higgins, yes.
Yes, that's
new member. Huey. Yeah, so like we have like 9 font. That's what they give us. We need to like put this on a big.
And it's hard to read that.
But
welcome to the club.
helpful traveler.
Enjoy the craziness that is the Walter's World superheroes.
So Christian, sing for us, Mark. Just put in Idiota Português, and you'll find me singing on there. Henry Higgins, yes. Okay, I like this one. RCB. You two are wonderful to listen to. Why, thank you. What are some benefits to visiting a small town or village as opposed to a big city? More specifically, if possible, Ireland suggestions. Okay, so just like anywhere, if you have a big city, you get the big city experience, and that's the same pretty much anywhere you go in the world. And you do get to experience some local culture and culture within the big cities. But we find that in small towns...
in small towns, you definitely get like it's like flavor overload, right? It's not that the culture isn't in the big cities. It's just that all big cities get kind of homogenous in some ways. There's like a lot of business and things like that. And when you're in the small towns, you get in touch with like the root of the country. So we do always spend a couple days in the big cities, but we tend to get a lot more into the small towns and things like that. We meet a lot of people there. Yeah. We find that people in smaller towns are really... Not that people in bigger cities aren't willing, they just don't have time. You know, there's a hustle and bustle that just happens. It's like going to New York or Chicago and then coming to Champaign, Urbana, and it's a different sort of hustle and bustle here. Yeah. There is none.
Because this is the thing. I've met some amazing New Yorkers, amazing Londoners, amazing Parisians. Yeah. And you have that. It's a time frame kind of thing. It's like there's not as much going on. I don't have to rush. I don't have an hour drive home tonight to get to work. I have a 10-minute drive home. So yeah, I can sit and talk with you.
50 minutes to hang out with you and have pinchos in this little town in Spain rather than
Barcelona, where I got to go out and take I got to get to the station to get my train and get this kind of stuff.
Except in Lisbon.
Yeah, Lisbon's different. Lisbon's fantastic.
Lisbon's way slower as far as like big cities go.
So Jason Crosby, have you ever visited Serbia? So I was on the train getting ready to go to Serbia when they burned our embassy a few years ago. So I have not been yet. That was another one of those places.
That was a minute ago.
Yeah, and so when we were thinking, if we didn't do the Israel, Turkey, and Ethiopia part, when we were doing the Bulgaria, Romania part, we were going to be in Serbia this summer. But we will get there. We've had, I think, India's number 1 for places we haven't been that people ask for, and then number 2 is Serbia. So we will get there.
Forever Bookish. No, we're not going to North Korea unless things change between our two countries. I don't think that it's a safe place for us to take our children politically. And you know, we don't get into politics, but we don't get into politics.
And I'm not putting my family in that kind of risk.
Yeah.
So there is that. Right. Let's see.
I feel like we have missed
Take a big bike tour through Versailles. Awesome with my son this last summer. Yeah, the big bike tours are always nice. The family banter is fun. Funny. Yes, I agree. April is bringing another level of stuff there.
How do you choose your trips throughout the year? Do you determine it based on the flight prices, or do you scout out and make a list? So
a bit of both.
It is really a little bit of both. So price sort of is always a thing that determines stuff, right? But we maybe make like our favorites list, like this is what we want to get done this year. But often that list is determined by who we need to go see. It has to do with friends and family that we're going to go see. Or where
our fans like you want us to go.
And then we shop things out to y'all and see what you guys want to see. Take those two things into consideration. And obviously, money always plays a factor in it. So, Thomas Higgins, Jocelyn, I'm the Mizzou fan from prior chats, so you might regret having me here.
Hey, you know, we got to go see a Mizzou football game this year, and it happened to be in Athens, Georgia.
And I'm not even going to talk about how y'all got smoked.
I wasn't going to go there.
It was such a good game.
I didn't go there, but being an Illinois fan and a Georgia fan, it's like, oh, we got 2 places that beat you down this year.
Oh, stop. But you know what?
Actually, I don't know if we actually won this year, but I am happy.
My cousins went to Mizzou.
Good for them. But I am glad that we are starting up the Illinois versus Mizzou football games again, because that was a really great thing. I think that you need to have those like cross-state rivalry things. Like,
honestly,
and I'm glad.
Illinois, as someone who's lived both here and St. Louis,
yeah.
I think that that's an important
thing. I'm really happy they're doing it home and away, like in Columbia and in Champaign, as opposed to like in St. Louis, because yeah, they make more money that way, but think about the communities. Like if we're in Columbia, how many people are going to go there, fill up those hotels, go to those restaurants, really like help out the local community? Like that's one thing I always really like.
And somebody asked you.
It just jumped.
I know.
It's jumping again.
Somebody was asking about what's Germany like in Christmas.
Okay.
Perfect. It's picture perfect. It's what you think Christmas is supposed to be as an American, because so much of our Christmas
traditions come from Germany. But one thing I will tell you is if you do go, a lot of the Christmas markets stop on the 23rd. So make sure you have that. So yeah, for those of you that are hopping off to go to bed, we thank you. Bill Green, thank you very much for the super chat, buddy.
Thanks, Bill.
It's good to have you back. We've missed you.
Yeah, you've been gone for a minute. I mean, geez, dude.
I know. Well, he pops up every so often.
I hate it when people
Bill's old school. Bill, you were probably here. Well, we were like at 5 subscribers or something like that.
Bill's been around for a minute. Yeah.
So April Finley has a thing. He can't handle my comedic ability. What can I say? Oh yeah, your dad. He'll get on. He'll catch on. So Darwin Downer, thoughts on Boston? Go. It's a great city to go to. We have tons of videos. We got loves and hates, don'ts, and shocks, and tips. It is well worth going to. I have tickets for there in May in a few weeks, but obviously that's not going to happen. But I have tickets to go back because I wanted to go see some friends there. So well worth it.
Good night, Abby Beth.
Oh, Abby Beth, you've been on here since the beginning.
Been on here for a long time.
You've been on there since 2 hours and 20 minutes ago.
Dan Jones, what do you suggest to visit? Or I'm sorry, when do you suggest to visit Czech? So you know what?
Works anytime.
It really there's good stuff anytime. It's a lovely country. There's good stuff. Prague is lively anytime. For me personally, I really like to visit places in spring and fall because there tend to be less tourists. In Europe, generally speaking, those shoulder seasons, things are less expensive. It's easier to get hotels. All of those things together is kind of a good thing. So yes, April, you have 10-inch heels.
April is hardcore, man. April, you should see April's stuff. Like she actually went on a walk
10 inches
with her parents in the like super huge platform stuff.
But I thought those were like 4 or 5 inches, sister.
April's a bad woman. So Mark better watch out because April's gonna curb stomp him if he doesn't get in line.
Means to travel. When you've been in Spain, have you participated in siesta culture? Sister,
you have to.
I do that like right here in my living room.
Especially during the homeschooling time. You're like, just go play.
Nap time. Greece does it too. You know, there all of those southern European countries, and a lot of Central and South America does it. It's just when it's hot. Y'all just need to lie down and take a little nap. That's what it is. Yeah.
We got the jump arounds again. Sorry, everybody. Like your feed is nice and smooth. Ours is like jumpy. Okay. Oh, I found Means to Travel. Check them out on YouTube. You found those again, so we're back to where we were.
Okay.
Knob Creek, the winery. It'll go down. Debbie, we have not been to Pakistan. That's a longer term visit. We will get there.
What territory or unrecognized country are you dying to get to? I don't know.
Antarctica? Does that count?
That's not a country.
I know, it's not a country. Well, she's like an area, region.
I mean, like dying to get to. My list is really long because there are a lot of places.
I would say Jocelyn's number one right now, since we've gone to Rwanda, would be Bhutan.
But that's a recognized country, right? I mean, it's.
I know, like.
I mean, I don't know. About
that's why I'd go with Antarctica. Because
yeah. Okay. Fine.
It's
I'm gonna take that too.
There you go. All right. Let's see.
How about Africa? Ooh,
Terry
who said
Finley
that?
has
Heels of
dethroned
steel.
April.
Did you see that? Heels of steel. Sister,
I don't.
we're going to have to go round.
Wait, her 10-inch heels are heels of steel?
No. That person, her name is Heels of Steel, and she's at LSU.
Oh, yeah, Jocelyn's not a fan of LSU. We did go to the campus, and I got pictures in front of the Tiger and stuff like that.
Listen, I don't like LSU. I'm a Georgia fan. But I like LSU more than I like Florida.
I like there's that little, like, college town. Is it called college town? Like, because you have
Accommodations in Texas.
No, because there's the university, like, university buildings, and there's, like, this little town. Because there's Baton Rouge, and maybe it's just a part where, like, the professors live. There's all these little cute houses. I really like that, so I could go. Anyway, if you know people. Oh, Silver Surfer. Greetings from Sweden. Hope to see you soon. We will be back.
Chat.
And thank you very much for the super chat. We do have quite a few friends in Sweden, and we will be back to see them.
And one of our dearest he's left Sweden, and
well, he's like half the year in Sweden, half the year in South Africa. There's a lady, and he likes her a lot, and he's like the coolest guy ever.
He is kind of cool.
We're really happy for him.
Mariposa, Papillon. What up, Mark and Jocelyn? I've got lots of dental pain, so I've joined your GRBWW chat kind of late. Oh, you know what?
Hey, I hear this helps. So if you drink this whole thing and then tie a piece of string around it and pull it out, you won't have any problems.
Or just, what in the old movies when people would just tie their head up like this?
You mean in Christmas Carol? Because the
Absolutely.
jaw was going to fall down.
Yeah.
Mariposa, I hope you're doing okay. I hope you get some dental help. I know right now it's really tough because if you need non-elective like doctor stuff, there's not really much out there.
No. Well, you know what? Emergency dental is still happening in most states in the U.S. as far as I know.
But it really is just emergency. Like I know some places where they're like, look, they'll only like you might be like, this tooth hurts, and like this one might hurt. You're like, no, we're only looking at this, so it's like really a focus kind of thing. So I hope you're okay, Mariposa.
Yep.
Lori says, been watching videos for years, just new member. I enjoy all the chats. Thanks, Lori. We appreciate that.
And we enjoy your input. You always have some good stuff, and I like that you're talking with other people. I always love that.
Nice.
Rusty says,
Shackelford, I'm homeschooling my wine.
Me too, honey.
Cheers.
Right.
You are being a good parent.
Oh, Christine, we're going to Buenos Aires in October, hopefully. What are some experiences, tours, and nightlife tips for a couple in their 30s with no kids?
Okay, so one thing you need to know is if you want nightlife kind of stuff, I mean, we just put out the Don'ts of Buenos Aires on Sunday. Watch that. That's like honestly one of my best Don'ts videos. I mean, I'm really sad that it's only got like 5,000 views. I'm like,
it is a really good video.
Like I lived there, I love it there, and so it was really. I mean, I actually cut out a bunch of Don'ts too because it was like 20 some minutes long to cut it down. But it's really, really good stuff. Watch that. That's going to help you. But if you're going to go Sunday, go to San Telmo, the district there, and go and see the flea markets and the kind of. It's not a flea market. It's like all the markets there. But just know that when you go out to like go in the clubs don't really turn into clubs until 2, which means no one shows up until 3. So be ready for a very late night. So don't be upset.
Like late night as in 8, 9 in the morning.
Yes. Yeah.
That's not a joke.
Not a joke. Like you'll party till 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. So you sleep in until 10, 11, and then you go for lunch at like 2. And so be ready for that.
Julius Caesar, he's not drinking anymore. Don't worry. That thing is gonna last us a lot longer.
Oh yeah, no. This isn't for
being
today.
Kind of goofy.
This is kind of like for
all of
the
quarantine.
rest. All of quarantine. I hope. Otherwise, we ain't got nothing else. And I don't know.
I only have another bottle of wine, I think. Jimmy.
Well, we have like 6 bottles of Glühwein from Germany for Christmas wine.
Well, yeah, we can have Christmas wine in April.
So we'll have to drink
Easter wine.
We'll have to drink that like next week because tomorrow's supposed to be like 40 degrees.
Oh, yeah, we could do that.
So, Jimmy.
Jimmy, thank you for your super chat.
Thanks, buddy.
He says, thanks for all your travel advice over the years. You literally saved my trip to Amsterdam last year with that food hall recommendation.
Oh, good.
My God, the food. Hope you guys stay safe from love from Ireland.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank
we appreciate
you.
it.
Yep, we know what you're talking
We know
about
what
with
you're
that
the food halls. Here's the thing: is in the Netherlands, the normal food isn't super fantastic, but the food hall and the food on the streets and the food in the vending machines are amazing. Like you can have some really fantastic stuff. Like that is a street food the entire time I'm there kind of country, and you'll love it. So I'm glad we could help Jim. I'm glad we could help out, Jimmy. Sorry.
Rebecca says, "Do not take dental advice from Mark," and then her next comment down there is hashtag shut up, Mark. You're awesome. I love
Look how straight my
you. Look
teeth
how
are.
quickly I can break this. I wouldn't do that to your mother who paid for your dental work.
Thanks, Mom. I'm sure she's asleep by now.
The parties at the Walters house must be a blast. Well, they
Yes.
used to be when we had them.
Yes, back in the day. So this is one of the reasons why we couldn't
Good
do
night,
this.
Babs.
We couldn't do this in like non-quarantine times because we usually have 2 or 3 get-togethers a week, and so that kind of takes up our alcohol time. Well, no, a lot of parties. What?
We have people over. I ain't got a problem with
No,
that.
and that's the thing is like this is one thing I hope we all start doing once this is over is we start to have our friends over our homes and do stuff like that because I never understood because when I left the U.S. and when I came back, all of a sudden everything was play dates versus just kids playing. And so everything had to be scheduled. Like, let's get people together again more often. And so that's what, like, we have friends like Donna and Dan, and their son Steven will come over, and it'll be like, oh, we're going to come over for like an hour just to say hi, and it turns to like 12 hours.
And Jeff and Lori, who...
Oh, yeah. You've seen Jeff in our videos. Yeah, like...
you know, but...
I miss them.
We have a lot of friends that, like, just, you know... Chris and Lindsay. We just have a lot of friends that kind of pop in and pop out. Our house is there's always an open door for people. You know, like that's just who we are.
I mean, how many times we've had people that walk by that are friends? We're like, hey, how you doing? And all of a sudden a bottle of wine pops out.
Well, and then I start cooking. I mean, but you know what? That's my dad always said.
Now you understand.
My dad always would say that God gives everyone a gift. Yours is hospitality. That's that. I mean, he's told me that since I was probably 16. And I married a man who, fortunately, feels the same way.
Yes.
You're
let's
open
enjoy.
to having all the people.
I want people. I want
friends and family.
I want friends. I want family. I want random people walking down the street. Let's have a chat.
Somebody asked about Maine and an inexpensive trip or something to stay. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Maine is not a particularly inexpensive place to stay. But I have found some really great hotels, old like 1950s roadside motel kind of things. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to poke you.
I thought you were poking me because I was pouring whiskey.
Well, I probably should poke you for pouring whiskey.
Not for you.
It should probably be for me and not for you. So anyway, those old 1950s kind of things, they tend to be a much better deal than a lot of the other.
Like in Belfast. Do
you remember the place we stayed in?
It was in Belfast. It's Belfast, Maine.
That was the name.
They had their Dublin Festival.
But it's outside Belfast. But anyway, it doesn't matter. There's some really great, inexpensive places to stay on whatever that highway is. One?
No, I don't remember, but I don't remember the number, but you're right. I mean, that's one of the things is you can find really great places to stay and enjoy
and look outside of the towns. What's the place that you went to with your grandfather? It's kind of awesome.
Camden.
Camden is beautiful and amazing, but it is dang expensive.
And Stephen Baldy is talking about Acadia National Park. And another person said they saw us at Acadia National Park. And I meant to talk about that, but then I was rudely interrupted by this fantastic woman here. Don't put it away. Give me a finger. Ha! Blocked it.
I got it in your neck. Your hair's messed up now. Fix your pretty flyaways.
My flyaways.
All right, get back down to business.
Yeah,
all
focus. Right. We're here to help, not to get beaten up by our wives.
A drive-up liquor store. We have brew-throughs in the South, but not.
Yeah,
so
but
much
you know what?
here.
They're not in. Well, I guess they are. Texas is like pseudo South. Yeah, I mean that's one of the things that was very interesting because now we have
Mark got his tequila for curbside pickup. Mark, I feel
because
like we're a bad influence on you.
I know Mark was a good man. He still is a good man, and Terry was a fantastic person. Poor April now has to get online and like pick on her parents.
Yes, we have a Jimmy UK and a Jimmy Ireland, and they are unrelated.
Oh, we got a Jimmy. The Jimmy.
Jimmy Ireland, yeah.
Nice.
Okay. And how did you deal with the difference between Spanish in Argentina and in Spain?
Okay, so Spanish in Argentina is funny because actually, in a way, it's easier than Spanish in Spain and other places because in the to form, the
Good night, Thomas Higgins.
you singular familiar form, they use vos
Kirkwood.
instead of to. And and what they do is instead of like doing stem change and stuff like that, it's just like vos and they put es or as at the end and that's it. So it's actually a lot simpler to use. But it's also the like yo chegué ayer. I got here yesterday. It gets a little complicated with all the stuff.
It's kind of like the difference between Portuguese and Brazil and Portugal.
Portuguese and Portuguese and Minas Gerais because they don't have the like. That's really a Minas Gerais thing.
Minas does not or does?
Does have the
Okay, well, but I don't think Bertha sounds
Night Thomas Higgins, yeah, because she's lived in Sao Paulo for 50
Thomas,
years.
spent some good times in Kirkwood. Know quite a few people there. We'll have to talk about that sometime.
Kirkwood in St. Louis?
Yeah.
Oh.
I am... Rebecca says, I'm in Chicago. I'll happily come to your party or place. I'll bring all the wine you want. That's great.
I love you.
Whiskey.
Rebecca, you will be fine. You can just come to our Christmas party this year. Our Christmas party was off the chain.
Oh my gosh, if we're allowed to have a Christmas party, y'all, does anyone else like think about in the next year or so and wonder if we're going to have 6 feet between people? Because my house is not big enough to have 6 feet between people.
Yeah, because we have, how many people do we have at our Christmas party this year?
People were in and out, but I would say like 70, 75 adults.
Yeah, and there was at least 20, 25 kids.
Oh, Lord, there are a lot of kids down below.
Yeah, and I learned, get a garbage can for the
big
basement, a big one.
Big one, like a wide one.
But I will give props. All the people who brought their kids left their juice boxes standing up as opposed to laying smushed down on the carpet.
There was nothing on the carpet.
Nothing on the carpet, but there was. It was like, my God,
we have good friends.
It's like remember like a few years ago when they had like the frozen, like not frozen, like blah, 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 but like the frozen, like everyone stood still thing and they'd walk around.
That was when we were in kindergarten and we were in trouble. You're my favorite.
Anyway. I know, because I'm
Kid Channel. Congratulations and much something.
Sorry, we had to jump. Sorry.
I think it's down a bit.
Megan, curbside shots are available at restaurants in Kentucky. Well, of course, yeah, because Kentucky's awesome.
That's amazing.
A buddy of mine's actually got a job at University of Louisville. He's starting there next year. Very happy for him.
Respect for the 50 pounds you lost, Mark. I'm on the same journey, and your video gives me inspiration to keep it up. It's great to see authentic people on YouTube. Well, Mark, it's a daily thing, and right now in quarantine, I think it's a little more difficult because we don't have the Y. Typically, we go to the Y, we lift, he does bike classes.
I do 5 or 6 bike classes a week, and even if they don't have the bike classes, they have the virtual stuff, the Westmo's virtual classes. I will go in, turn it on to go do one. So I'm at least doing 45 minutes on average a day of the crazy bike classes. Because that was my thing. And then I actually, last week, I rode my actual bike, which I haven't done for a few years because I got way too fat. And I actually rode it with Caleb. And, of course, then I messed up my tailbone. Because
the saddles are different.
Yeah.
And it really does make a difference if you guys ever do that kind of thing. So
I've been in excruciating pain for the last few days.
Heels of Steel. Also, I'm a first-time viewer, and I'm very intrigued. Good job. Bless your heart. I'm really sorry if I am mean and ugly to you. I am...
No, with a name like Heels of Steels, they are strong. They know what they're doing.
She's a Steel Magnolia.
I know, but she's awesome.
I'm assuming that you're a Steel Magnolia.
No, Heels of Steel is just a badass. That's all I'm saying.
That would be it. But we're going to have problems with the LSU Georgia thing. And it's okay because we have plenty of Texas people on here and we have... Darian, who is, God forbid, a Gators fan.
Who moved to Georgia.
Yeah,
and he's got a statue of a gator like eating isn't it eating a dog?
He does have a bulldog. I think.
But it's like a gator like doing bad things to a bulldog. I'm like, dude,
it is like
your neighbors are gonna burn your house down while you sleep.
He's definitely getting like TP'd, except for the TP.
Not now. That's like gold. That's like TPB. No, TPB. I need that stuff. Like we're getting low.
We're gonna pick it up.
Like all I know is like I was like, oh shoot, we don't have any like Liam's like, Dad, I'm like, uh-oh. I
did find a roll next to your nightstand because back in the day when TP wasn't like currency,
I whenever we go travel any place, I always throw a roll in there just in case.
Mark will have a roll of toilet paper to use for noses, toilets, whatever. We just have some.
It's significantly cheaper than tissues.
So anyway, Jocelyn.
Arthur, Illinois. No. Rusty Shackelford. Hi, Jocelyn and Mark. Rusty, really, we've been talking with you for like hours, but I appreciate that. Have y'all been to Arthur, Illinois? Yes. Excuse me. I went through there last week, and you didn't call. Break my heart.
And here's the best, and y'all should look up some of this sometime. They had horse hitches at the Dollar General, straight Amish country. It is, and they have horse hitches because people are driving their buggies. It's
really
not
good food, by the way.
Unusual and really, really great woodworkers.
They built the framework of our house, by the way.
They did. Apparently, the people that build around this area use them often for the framing because they're really great woodworkers. Mr. Bond said...
Wait, but I gotta say, they do steal the coffee, and the other workers were pissed off because we would get coffee every day.
We did bring them coffee.
Every day, coffee and donuts every day for our workers building our house, and the Amish guys would take the coffee with them.
Well, I don't know if it was every day. It was really close. Jocelyn, is your home state Georgia, or did you just study in Savannah? I studied in Savannah.
The poor girl lived everywhere.
I don't
let her have
a
something.
Home state. I mean, I was born in Illinois, and I moved back here, and I was here for a long time. But I don't know that this is. I mean, home is where my family is.
Okay, so
right now, this
Caleb
is
was born in Georgia, and he likes to give her crap because she was like born in Illinois, and he's not true Southern.
Yep.
But she's way more Southern than he is, though he was born in the South. So.
And then Liam was born in Lisbon, and there's like a whole nother aspect to that, and whatever.
So Tin China 85, you guys are hilarious. Oh, thank you very much. What a wonderful way to spend the stormy evening in Nashville. I'm glad you're here with us.
And we had a storm with you.
Yes. And honestly, I would like to get back to Nashville. I had such a good time there. I was there for a conference a few years ago. If you ever look, we've got a 511 Hates and What to See and Do in Nashville video. That's pre-don'ts and shocks and stuff like that. And I would really like to get back because Nashville has really exploded. Like, we've had so many friends that left Illinois that go to Nashville that it's unbelievable. And I'm really glad that they finally made 24 a little bit bigger. But if they could make 24 a lot bigger, that'd be great. Because it's really a pain in the butt getting through there.
Ireland Jimmy says, James is my English given name, but my name in Gaelic is Seamus. Yes. Yes, we switch drinks occasionally.
Because remember, we've been stuck together now since March 12th? 13th.
13th. It was,
March 13th.
Yeah, it was the
So we're stuck together every single day. I have to look at this gorgeous, amazing, beautiful face every day. Not that I wake up next to her, because I've been working on the videos and doing my classes because I'm teaching a summer class and everything's moved online. So I'm working until like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I go upstairs and I look in bed and there's one or two cute little boys sleeping next to her. So the last 4 to 5 nights?
I don't know. I've had a migraine 2 of the last 3 nights. And so I was in bed at like 8 o'clock.
Yeah, but I've been sleeping in Liam's car bed, so I've been sleeping in a
Can
Corvette. And you know, like think of the Sears catalog, the bed with the like Corvette or
that
Mark
I got
Camaro.
For $50 because they got a new Corvette body style
at Toys R Us.
That I got
That's how old it is. It's from Toys R Us, man.
But I got it for $50.
Hey,
and it
it's
was
comfortable.
time for him to get out of the crib and whatever, and I was like, well, he can't fall out. And yeah, It's the car bed in Mark's.
And what's great is my back's in so much pain, and it has like a piece of plywood underneath it, so it's like rock solid. I'm like, no, I will sleep here. I'm like, oh, thank you, God.
I think we need to cut this off. This is just ridiculous.
Anyway, we'll move on to our next topic.
Lord Almighty.
Brenda, no, you do not need to know German to enjoy Germany. Oh, Mary Posa, thank you very much for the super chat. Just popped up. Dividing time. Monaco, as it Nice, Aix-en-Provence. Okay, so
Monaco, not a lot of time.
No, Monaco's like a day, or like do a day trip in from Nice.
Do a day trip there.
Because you're gonna blow your budget staying there. I mean, you can do it, but be careful.
Don't stay there unless you have scads of money.
Yeah. So Nice is nice. We had a nice time. We were in Nice.
I don't particularly like Nice,
but like Aix-en-Provence is nice. But actually, we prefer Avignon. I would do Avignon as your base and go to Arles and Reims. For day trips, and then do
nice.
and then Axe is a nice place to go.
So my thing with Nice is that it's rare for me to feel uncomfortable in France as if though I'm going to be pickpocketed or something. And we got off the train in Nice, and I immediately had that feeling. I didn't like that when we got away from that area. Half a mile, like a kilometer, 2 kilometers away, a mile away in that, I felt a lot better about I felt okay there. But I just didn't love it.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I actually filmed a 5
South of France should be little places, towns.
I actually filmed a 5 level heights of Nice in France, and the 5th height was about around the train station feeling uncomfortable. And I've never been able to find that part we filmed. So I haven't put that one out, but that is one thing we've had. So there is that. So I would stick to Avignon up there, and then come down to Nice, and then do your day trips out of Nice or something like that. So hope that helps. So thank you, Mary Posa.
Favorite national park? Julius Caesar asks. Back from the dead, he says, favorite national park? I've only been to one and want to know where to go. Rocky Mountain National Park, Grand Canyon,
Yosemite,
Yellowstone.
You should talk to our buddies at Wanderfield Life.
WANDERFILLED Life.
Their whole thing is they go to all the
parks.
National Park Service sites around the country, and they do their blogs are phenomenal. Go check them out.
Lots of information, nice people.
Yeah, we've actually done 2 collab videos with them. One on RV travel and one on our don'ts of national parks, or the National Park Service, I should say, because NPS stuff. Because there's a lot of different stuff aside from the parks.
And there's some really good ones. Acadia is great too. We haven't been to any of the ones in Alaska, but
no, Denali would be really cool.
Florida, like Everglades, isn't Everglades a national park, or is that?
I think
national?
So. Yeah. Should be.
So
it's amazing.
There's just so many. There's not a bad one in the bunch. That's it.
So Jordan Soreski makes a good thing. Finish a Passover Seder earlier for the first time on Zoom with family friends. Was great and exchanged some good food recipes.
That's cool, Jordan.
And this is one of the things that you get to do these things. Like, think about this. If this would have been 10 years ago, the social distancing, I mean, it wouldn't have just been physical, it would have been social. You've been stuck. And now we have all these ways to talk. It is a fantastic thing. So I'm so good at that. And we've actually started to do some of our things. Because those of you that don't know, we do our 12 days of traveling Christmas kind of stuff. And someone asked,
Day of Christmas, my true love gave to me. La, 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 la.
Yeah, and so like someone asked earlier, what's our favorite video I have? It's our 12 days of Christmas videos. Those are my favorite by far.
Mine too.
Yeah, it's just like it's so nice to like think of all the places we've gone to the year. So we do the 12 days of Christmas. We change the words, and we do each of the parts of different parts of the world. And so our 5th day this year is 5 weeks of quarantine, and so we've been doing those with our friends over Zoom.
5 weeks of quarantine.
So Jocelyn did one with her friends Sue, and I did one, and we're trying to get our friends around the world to do that with us. So we have that. So we're trying to think of some happy things that are out there, and it's really nice to see that Zoom has actually brought friends together. I know you Had it with your friends?
Oh, my girlfriends from high school, which that's my phone's been going off all night. It's because we're all texting back and forth, which is usually how we communicate. There are 4 of us, and it's hard to get all of us in the same place at the same time. It happens like maybe every 5 years. But we text all the time and we call each other, and we finally are just having. We were supposed to have a weekend last weekend together. We managed to make it, all of us together. For somebody was having a soccer tournament, and their kid did, and so we managed to all get there together.
Yeah, but you all ended up having a 3-hour.
We had a 3-hour Zoom, and it was fantastic. We laughed so much, and we supported each other. It was just so good. So I'm glad that you got to have a Seder meal together, and to be with family and friends and just experience all of it. It's awesome. Different, but it's amazing.
So I want to give a shout out to PA Brew News. So PA Brew News does review on different beers and folks in obviously in Pennsylvania. And but he's been here since we lived in our old house, and we've been friends forever. And I have not seen him on our chat for a while, and I just want to give a shout out to him. So welcome back. So go check out his channel. See what beers you need to be drinking from Pennsylvania and other places. Yes.
We're running on 3 hours.
That's
and
fine.
Children, it's almost 11.
Who cares? They don't care. They're asleep. They're fine.
They're not. I'm gonna go check on them.
You check on them. I think we just keep on going because you know what? Homeschooling is going so well. Anyway, okay. So Kid Channel, if you had to have a Groundhog's Day a la Bill Murray, what travel day of your lives would you want to do over and over? Well, there's a day in Lisbon when Jocelyn came to visit me, but we won't go there. I think with the family, I would probably go to one of the days we've had in Italy together, because it was like a combination. I think it would be last summer, because last summer we had a day. We rented a place in Vicenza in the center, and Jocelyn could open her window and look right on Palladia's Basilica. And she had that. So she opens up to her favorite place in the world. And we have friends staying with us there. So we're meeting up and all this kind of stuff. And we got our Italian friends there. I think that's one day I could go over again and again and just enjoy it, because I had friends from the U.S. who were there. I had my students that were there. I had my local friends in Italy that were there. And it would just be a wonderful thing to experience again and again. Let's see. So a lot of toilet paper questions. When will toilet paper become currency? I think it already is. And yes, I have seen the person paying the everything with toilet paper meme, so that is nice. Let's see. Mario Plus, I was going to answer one of your questions and it just jumped around again. I'm sorry. Yeah, do Aix-en-Provence. I love Impressionist art. Yeah, so you have a good time. And that's one of the cool things. When you go down to Avignon and down around there, you'll see a lot of the Impressionist arts. And we have a lot of videos to help you out down there, so that's really kind of nice. Alex, my favorite holiday is Christmas as well. Hence why our Christmas tree is still up over there. So Mario posted, you can use Nice as your base when you're looking at going to like on the Côte d'Azur, on the French Riviera. But I would actually use Avignon as your base to get to like Nimes, Rennes, stuff like that. Nimes, Arles, things like that. That's going to be a better base for what you want to do to kind of get away from the craziness. So there is that. Yeah, Mark Finley, our sleep schedule are so messed up. I mean, that's the thing is you have all these things going on. And now like the kids get up whatever you want. Like I am not going to wake you up to start doing class at 8 a.m. Because for me, I wake up at 6 regardless. It doesn't matter what time we finish this. I'll wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I will like work on my classes, get ready for my class I'm going to teach, maybe work on a video, do some other stuff for some things, walk the dog. I'll come back and be like 9 o'clock. I'm like, I've had a whole day's work. And then, the kids get up and we'll try to get them to work. So it's really weird how everything's kind of like up in the air. And what's funny is you have these things like Illinois. We have it until, right now it's till April 30th. Then May 1st, human kids could go back to school. Like, nah, it's going to go farther than that. I'm like, right now, I don't know if going back to school is really a good idea. So let's just enjoy what we have and enjoy how we can. So how many of the states have you been to? I have been to 38. Jocelyn, do you remember?
Like 47 or 48, something like that. I know I haven't got Alaska and Hawaii. I feel like I'm missing Washington and Idaho, but I'm not entirely sure. Some of those in the upper, like, northwest were when I was young, and I don't really remember, so I feel like they don't really count. Okay.
Well, inside Lauren's brain, oh my God, you're still on. Yes, we're still on.
She took a 2-hour nap, and we're still here.
Oh yeah, because we are about at hour 3, and we are going to get to hour 3 because I don't want 2:57. Last time we were only on for 2:57, so we're getting to 11 plus a bit. So we're fighting on.
I'm tired.
Go, girl.
7 more minutes. We're gonna do it. Do you see the bags that are happening right here? I'm gonna have wrinkles tomorrow.
All I see is beauty.
More wrinkles.
All I see is beauty.
I hate you.
You hate me because all I see is beauty.
You.
I mean, think of poor Mark and Terry and April. They've been on here for hours just trying to help out. So you should be on here for Mark. Think of Mark.
You know what, Mark?
Think of Terry. Think of poor April.
And
her
Michael,
parents are up late at night. They're going to make her study in the morning. Poor April.
April, don't study tomorrow. Just take an hour break because we gave you permission. And Mark and Terry were like, I hate you.
Oh, hush now. I'm flying down to see them and go and eat some barbecue. I don't give a crap. I'm going to go eat barbecue with the Finleys. You can come with me if you want, but damn it.
You know where I want to go in Texas, y'all? I want to go to Schlitterbahn. And I just like to say Schlitterbahn. But I do. I'm
it's a fun
of
time.
Like coasters and things like that. You were there.
It's not coasters. It's all water stuff. It's water rides. And don't go to the new part. You go to the old part because it's easier.
No, but they have an old wooden coaster at Schlitterbahn.
It's an old wooden water slide.
It is?
Yes.
Oh, I'm an ignoramus.
But I still love
also,
you.
it's 11 o'clock and I'm tired.
Oh, Mariposa makes a good point. To the Walters family, your Christmas videos are part of my Christmas tradition. When I'm not in the Quebec City, a beautiful city, by the way, I'm here in the Northwest U.S., pinned into the tube, watching Walters World. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's so sweet. You know what?
Eric Brett also looks forward to our 12 days of Christmas. Yeah,
Thank
we're working on it. And we'll do whatever we can to make sure this year we can make it happen. Though a lot might be from El Salvador and the southeast of the U.S., we're going to do the best we can to get everything there. It's not going to be as diverse.
For 20, and I sort of lightly announced it on Instagram that 20 countries in 2020. That was kind of the thought. Guess what? Tain't happening.
Tain't happening. Ain't no way.
Not even remotely gonna happen.
Because I've gotten a bunch of U.S. and El Salvador. So we're at 2. If we can get to like 3, I'll be happy in 2020.
I was thinking, did you make any with Leah? Oh no, it's still U.S.
Yeah, I went to space camp.
Yeah, so we're missing a whole
So
lot.
Jess, 747 400. How many languages do you speak, including your kids? The kids are learning Spanish in school, so they got English and a little bit of Spanish. Jocelyn.
Wow.
She actually speaks better Spanish than she thinks, but she is really good with that.
I understand Spanish better than I can speak it. I also understand Spanish sometimes better than I do Portuguese. Although I lived in Portugal, I have a hard time hearing Portuguese, but I can speak it better than I hear it.
Yeah, with a little bit of practice for me, I would have no problem teaching my classes in English, Spanish, Portuguese, and German. And then I can
French
have some,
and Italian, you're
so
good.
And
Lithuanian, you're a decent tourist.
Yeah.
Listen, in Lithuania, if you know like 5 words, they'll
be like, oh,
they'll give you the
foreigner.
keys to the city, whatever city you're in.
How do you see? Hey, Mark and Jocelyn, have you ever made a playlist or video compilation of your favorite towns that you've been to? I haven't done a compilation of video of towns, but we do have a compilation of our favorite videos that we actually like. So if you go to the YouTube channel and you scroll down, there'll be a playlist like our favorite videos.
Thanks,
so
Terry.
There's that. So.
Oh, Megan's getting the thunderstorm. It's all gone here. It's like clear and quiet. Praise God, because Liam would be like begging to sleep in the basement.
She was at, and I just saw his heads.
We do.
So we'll have to wrap this up here in a little bit.
Lockhart, Texas is the barbecue capital of something.
Of the world? Texas. Oh, that's bold statement, Julius Caesar.
Of the world.
Only the world? I want the barbecue capital of the universe. The multiverse, even. So we have that. Yes, Faisal, we're still here. We have no life. All we do is talk about relative travel. We do need to go. The kids,
I know you guys are all rooting me on. You guys are keeping me from turning into someone that goes to bed at 7 p.m. Don't forget to spray extra vodka on
your mask for extra protection. Thanks, Eddie. You're the best. See, look, Rebecca says, you got this, Jocelyn.
I know.
You guys will keep me from turning into
Look, it's 10:57.
Wait, I just did a you. I read a question that you read already. Oh, my goodness.
We're tired.
Anyway, no, we're getting to 11. We are getting 3 hours this time.
Any desire to visit Central Asia?
Yes.
We have talked about the stands for about 3 years now. How is it that when we haven't gotten there, things come up for us? We are not your typical YouTube travelers.
Yeah, because a lot of YouTube travelers, what they do is they get someone says, hey, we'll pay for you to come here. We'll give you some money to come here and stuff like that. And they just go. I got a day job. We got kids in school. So our stuff is very much like kind of set. But also, we want to go to places that are more important.
No, it's not that. It's that we have friends and family that we're going to go see all over the place. And that does make things more important. I'm sorry, it's more important for us to go to Italy for our friend's wedding, or to Brazil for our friend's wedding,
and then
or to Portugal when our friends have kids. Like, I mean, that is a huge factor for us, seeing our friends and family. Hi, Bubby.
Oh, Scott raised thank you very much for the super chat. I learned a lot from you guys. I'm glad we could help out, man.
Thank
that
you.
Is awesome.
And thanks for staying up so late with us.
Yes, and Heels of Steel, yes, KC Barbecue is phenomenal. Oh, look, Inside Lauren Springs still likes your wallpaper, Jocelyn.
Thank you.
So there is nice.
Somebody was asking about favorite London hotel for an anniversary stay. So there's another thing that we don't do.
We don't do hotel
because we have friends there. We don't.
Yeah, I mean, I've been. I'll be honest with you. I've been to London over 30 times, and I stayed in a hotel once with my parents, and that's it. Yeah,
that was pre-me.
Yes, that was pre-you, because otherwise we haven't stayed. So we're not really helpful. Means to travel. It's late. It's 11 o'clock in Chicago. You should be in bed. Just kidding. You know it's late when Mark does a Jocelyn. Yes, it is.
You're still here. Ferris Bueller. That's about right. Dog's got to go out.
Oh, the dog's got to go out. All right. Fredericksburg in Texas does have a lot of German culture. And if you notice, when you have your chicken fried steak, it is pretty much a schnitzel. Yeah, there's some German heritage there, so that is really kind of nice. Yes, Eric Brown, Icelandic has got to be the weirdest language. It is a bit tough, but it is not the weirdest. I've heard
You know what's really fun is when you are driving through Iceland and your husband is navigating and you're driving and you're like, should I turn it?
You actually said that. That's actually exactly how you said it that time too.
The words are like this long, like 7-8 inches long, on the map.
In 8 font.
There's like an entire alphabet in one word, and you're like it's just so. I get the first 3 letters, and I'm like, it starts with an M. Is that the right place? That was so much fun, though. We laughed so much.
We did. When we weren't crying on the roads, yes, there was that.
There was only the one time we cried on 2 times.
Night, Jesse.
That we cried on the roads.
Hey, Saber.
Everybody's going to bed. Oh my gosh, it's 11:01. We made it.
Hey, so good to see you up here, buddy. I see you with family in London. Yeah, it was the same thing we do, buddy.
Yeah, us too.
All right, we're gonna call it a night. We will see you all. Remember, Saturday at 9 a.m. We'll be back. 9 a.m. we'll have our live feed. At noon we'll have a new video. At 7 a.m. on Sunday we'll have a new video. 7 a.m. on Wednesday next week we'll have a new video. And then 8 p.m. at night we'll have our whiskey and wine travel chat as well. And if you're not busy on Tuesday, go check out our Professor Walters channel. I'll be doing a 12 to 15 hour. I'm not really sure how many hours. Live feed of teaching all kinds of barking stuff. So
kids will be interrupting, and I'll be going, Mark, how do I do this math?
Yeah, so you just do your part to keep me sane and just pop on and say hi.
Keep him sane. What about me?
Yeah, they do that. They're awesome.
I know. Thank you, you guys.
All right, everybody.
Mark and Michael and me,
everyone,
Travel, all of you guys who have helped keep
for
the
3
trolls
hours.
off for 3 hours.
And Mark, I hope you have not been drinking